rainforest. And you know something funny about the Amazon? Santa just loves it. Yeah, that's right. You know why? Because he loves the reindeer.
Hello, and welcome to this special edition of the Dads of Adventure podcast. If you're listening here, then check us out on YouTube because we've got some great video. You'll see our wonderful Christmas shirts and, showing them off here. Today we're talking Disney at Christmas time. So before we get started, I'll just tell you, everywhere where you can find us. If you go to dadsofadventure.com, you can sign up for the newsletter and also get signed up for the membership site and go check it out. Join other positive Disney dads there, and we would love to have you. And you can also find Dads of Adventure at Dads of Adventure on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you're listening, you can see this on YouTube. At the DreamsMagicAdventure channel, forgot to mention that. And we're also on TikTok, but I don't know exactly what we're doing with that yet, but it's there. So today, again, we're talking about Disney at Christmas. It's July when we're recording this, and not sure when this is coming out yet, but we thought we'd do a little Christmas in July thing, and we just passed the halfway to Christmas mark, and everybody was really excited about that with all the quarantine and everything that has been going on. Everybody's been posting pictures. There's Christmas lights up in the middle of the summer, so there's lots of things related to Christmas, so we thought we'd talk about it. I'm here with Will from WillTalksDisney, and I'll let him introduce himself, and we'll go from there.
Perfect. Scott, thanks. I'm really excited to be here. And like Scott said, my name is Will from WillTalksDisney. Mainly, you can find me on Instagram at WillTalksDisney. I've got a small YouTube page with 22 followers, so not nearly as proficient on there. Still trying to figure out the whole YouTube thing. So mainly posting on Instagram. I'm a big, I would say, like reshare feature account of different photos. Usually most of my photos, I try to pose a question, and then randomly last week in June, I started posting a bunch of Christmas photos, and just got really excited after we hit the halfway mark. And then luckily we got into June, so I could officially say I did the Christmas in July theme. And I know it's super hot here, and it's just Disney and Christmas is just something special. So really excited to talk and get into a bunch of different stuff with you. So excited.
Yeah, I was excited. I was following your account on Instagram, and I started seeing some of the, that you were posting a fairly good amount of Christmas pictures, throughout that month. And I'm like, we need to get together and talk some Christmas in July. I was also inspired by us, creating something, and I saw a picture that I had found at one point, and that'll probably be like the picture for this with I think it was over at Disney Springs when they were doing like a Christmas in July thing where Santa's in his tropical attire, sitting around with all his presents at the beach. So I think
it's it's a big opportunity that Disney actually misses out on. I'm surprised they don't like cash in on like I'm sure if they wanted to charge like a $400 Christmas party in July on like July 25th to close down Magic Kingdom. Well, obviously not now, but in future years, make it snow on Main Street. They probably have to put dream lights on the castle, but just even like put the projections because of how good they're getting. I mean, these are golden nuggets, Disney. Listen to us, and then give us a little extra. So
a little credit,
yeah.
that would be cool. Who knows what will happen. Right now we're in an era where all of the Halloween parties have been canceled. So
Yeah.
They haven't said anything about the Christmas parties yet and what that looks like. And we'll talk about that a little bit more, what those Christmas parties entail. But like you said, listen in, Disney. If you miss the Christmas parties in December and it seems okay to do them next July, I mean, that's I can't think of a better way to do that, especially if you could bring in some sort of like air conditioning type situation with the snow, fake snow.
Yes.
That would be awesome. So
I'd be down for it. So
But all right, well, so getting into kind of what we're talking about today, we kind of had to organize because there's so much that you can potentially do, and we were both talking about how you just can't do it all. Like even if whether you're coming from afar and going on a week trip, or if you're here and you're closer to the park and make it there fairly regularly. Like I was talking about how. For the candlelight processionals, I went multiple times and still never made it into one. So there's so much. So we'll kind of organize a little bit, but our first topic today is going to be talking about the parks and resorts, which I just love that. It's kind of this, start to Christmas. I mean, as soon as Halloween is over, Christmas starts in Magic Kingdom, but that's really what starts signaling the holiday to me, when the resort trees start going up and all those things. So I'll let you start, Will. And what are some of the favorite things that you find around the resorts at Christmas time?
It's hard because there's just so much down there at Disney on the resorts. And I know it's like you get Halloween is October 31st. I think there's an extra party on November 1st, but it's like November 2nd, everything's down and like the parks are like Christmas. But I've always heard that the resorts usually, they don't get full Christmassy until probably like right after Thanksgiving, early or late November, early December. And when you're down there, there's just so much. So I was telling Scott earlier, we went on a trip in December of 2018 and we stayed at Pop Century, and even there they have a little Christmas tree. And kind of one of our favorite memories was one of the cast members read our daughter in front of the little Christmas tree a story. They do one every night. So even at a value resort, they still have it. And so we were there for a week, and we planned for only 4 days in the parks. So we did 4 days in the parks, 1 day at the Christmas party at night, but then basically had an extra full day for just doing resorts. So what we did is we actually did the monorail loop. So I wanted to see the Grand Floridian and see their ginormous tree with their gingerbread house, and it's that place is insane. You have this probably like 60-foot tree in there, a house that's made out of real gingerbread.
Yes, and
then they have like a live orchestra band that comes and plays music. So it's something special. And then kind of each of those resorts, because then we also did the Wilderness Lodge too, which is probably I would say my favorite resort around Christmas time on Disney property. It's like Pacific Northwest feel of being out there. It's something special.
Yeah,
they have
agreed
fireplaces everywhere on the property and the rocking chairs. So it's a beautiful. We did Animal Kingdom Lodge, or we got into where Sinai is and Kidani Village. So we didn't get into the lodge to see the tree, but it's just, it's hard. I posed a question, what has the best resort tree / Christmas tree on property? And I think it's a hard question to answer.
Yes. Before we move outside of the monorail loop, I'll just make some notes on like some of the ones you mentioned. It's awesome to see. And if you can get there early enough, you can actually see them like building the gingerbread house in the Grand Floridian. And you can, if you're really nice, they may give you like a sample or something like that. One of the shingles, but they'll answer questions and things like that about, they put the basic facts up there, like this many eggs, all those things on how much goes into that. but yeah, I think Grand Floridian is awesome in terms of like the classic
Elegance
Christmas
is what I
view.
think, right?
Yeah, exactly. But then some kind of like smaller things and bigger things, like the Polynesian. They have some of the best music, I think.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, and I may be wrong on this, but it seems like there is a special track, I think during the year too, but especially at Christmas, that's just in the bathrooms down by the Captain Cook's quick
Okay.
service. And I've always felt like, okay, can I record some of this music in the bathroom without feeling weird? I haven't quite gotten to that point yet, but I have listened into some of the songs and found a couple of them on like Spotify and things like that. So like there's one that's "Here Comes Santa in a Red Canoe," and
that's awesome.
so I need to make a list. I feel like I've looked that up many times and haven't quite exactly gotten that list, but that's a little thing. And I totally agree. Like Wilderness Lodge is probably the ultimate for me. This year they added a gingerbread house to that, because we were there and like that's where we'll often go to like just end the night, like for quick service meal or something like that before we head out. And we were waiting for the tree to be there because there's like the space and I feel like the tree should be up by now. And then they put up the information about something new coming and for the gingerbread house, and then that showed up, and then we were like about to leave, and as we were leaving we saw like all of these semi trucks out in the and we're like, I feel like we should wait and see kind of what's going to happen here. So it was the crew that was going to holiday services that was going to be putting up the tree. So I don't remember how late we stayed, but I mean, it was definitely the next day before we left. So we found like a nice spot up in the, and I definitely recommend like exploring the Wilderness Lodge as much as you can, because there's all these little nooks and stuff. So we were up like by a fireplace, and there's another blogger up there that had like a pizza ready to go. So he knew what was going on and had been, because they don't really tell you like when this stuff is going to happen. So he had been tipped off by another like cast member or something. And so he knew what was going on. And we just happened to have like did a time lapse on my phone and tried to get as much video and everything as possible. And sure, I fell asleep a few times, while they were putting it up, because it does take a while. But it was cool to just, the part that we saw, and eventually we were like, okay, we have to go home now. And there are still many hours left to put it together. But that was probably one of the coolest Christmas experiences I've experienced on like the Magic Kingdom side resorts. So
and then kind of like a safety tip for everyone is the Contemporaries tree, while beautiful, is in the middle of their parking lot. So I know I've seen people try to get like pictures of it, but you're in an active parking lot with cars going by and stuff like that. So
I hadn't really thought of that. So that's a good
high
tip.
risk, high reward photos for the Contemporary tree.
And Dad's Adventure, all about having a positive Disney experience, so that is a good tip to
safety first. And I've kind of always said, if I had like a dream Christmas experience, it would be, because I never knew, and I follow I think it's like Tom Bricker, like the Disney Tourist blog website, and he's shown kind of some of the suites that the Wilderness Lodge has, and there's like quasi like presidential that I didn't know you could actually find on Disney's website. So if I could stay there one year for like over Christmas and then just like walk down to that tree, I'll probably have to work like a couple extra jobs to do that, but it's a dream out there. So I don't know, it's something about that rustic old cabin feel and just how grand the whole lobby is at the Wilderness Lodge. It just because we were there, I think like the 5th to the 12th of December, and it just felt like Christmas Day when you're in there. They even got like PhotoPass photographers there that take your portraits in front of the tree and everything like that. So it's a special place.
Nice. Yeah, and I don't know if we're still over on the Magic Kingdom side of things. Do we want to save Fort Wilderness for last? Because I think there's a lot to talk about there. Or do we talk about it now so we don't forget to talk about it?
Why don't we talk about it now? Because I think it's
Okay.
it's too special to wait. So
Yeah. Well, I'll let you start because
yeah,
I know you have some plans to be down there soon, right? So,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
we'll fill in from there.
Yeah, so when we were talking beforehand, we originally had a trip in April. We had to push with COVID, and then we had to push it to June, thinking we'd be okay. And then we were supposed to go to the 26th, and everything was still closed. So we called Disney and then pushed it to, I think, again, that first or in between Christmas and Thanksgiving. And then one of the resorts that was open was either Wilderness or all of the DVC resorts. And so I was excited. I'd always heard of, even for like locals, they'll come and rent a golf cart and go around, because I think people, like, as soon as they can book those RV spots,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like the little tribe of RVs that kind of go every year. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a game I play in my neighborhood with my neighbors on who has the better lawn. It's like it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. And some of the videos and the scenes that are down there, it's almost better decorations than even some of like the other parks and stuff like that have, how well they do the whole thing. And especially if you're going down and you have the chance, I think it's one of those things that isn't as publicized, but if you can go and rent a golf cart and then just drive around, looks like such a cool experience.
Yeah, and I haven't had a chance to stay there at Christmas, but like right before, I guess it was right before Christmas, because Christmas was like midweek this year. We went and we did Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. So Hoop-Dee-Doo Review has like a special Christmas show where it's some of the same songs that they do normally, but they add special Christmas songs in there. So that was awesome. It's all decorated. It's I mean, the whole place, like the Pioneer Hall area, by the is decorated up for the holidays. The stores are decorated, so there's all sorts of neat things in there. I wanted to buy like all the merchandise that was related to Christmas. We got some pins because we weren't staying there. Normally we get pins based on like where we're staying, but we're close enough. We went to the Hoop-Dee-Doo. We're here. We're getting these Pluto pins, because Pluto's Christmas is a little off topic here, but is like my favorite Disney short for like Christmas.
I'm trying to
Pluto's Christmas tree.
I'm trying to think I've seen that, or if me and one of our kid stories we have is like a Chip and Dale one of Pluto, when it's kind of like the first introduced and he's getting yelled at by Mickey all the time for like wrecking the Christmas tree and stuff that. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. It's on Disney Plus now, so everybody can see it. But although before that, it was kind of like you had to catch it at the right time, because they would normally play it like with Mickey's Christmas Carol when I was a kid. When they had it on TV. But yes, the loops, like we did it in our car. So you can do it with your car. The only way you're getting your car in there though is if you have like a reservation. So don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you gotta plan a little bit. So make a dinner reservation or something like that if you're gonna bring your car in. Otherwise, you have to be staying at the resort in order to have a vehicle in there. So we drove around. You have to be real careful because there's lots of people in there. But it was just outstanding. Like, you go through one loop and you're like, man, that was amazing. And then you go through the other one like, oh my goodness, this is on a completely different level. And I won't give them away because I know you're going to go see them. That is definitely one of the cooler, Disney experiences at Christmas time. It's just the level that all of those folks go to celebrate the holiday season. So
it's funny how Wilderness has that same feel. And Fort Wilderness, you're at Disney, you're like a boat ride away from the Magic Kingdom, but you feel like you're like 100 miles away in the Pacific Northwest, or you're just in the forest. And there's always my in-laws, they go camping, they have a big fifth wheel that they tow around, and
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, there's that community feel that you get from the whole campgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably similar because it's the same families that keep on getting the same spots year after year. So it's nice to see kind of like that community, especially when you're down there. And then obviously with Christmas, it's a perfect tie-in. And so it's one of those things, especially if you're looking for kind of like the low cost things to do at Disney. If you can get there, rent a golf cart, and golf cart's probably a little expensive, but it's definitely worth it just to drive around and see what everything's like down there for sure.
Yeah, if you're going to make an investment in anything, I would definitely get the golf cart if you're staying at Fort Wilderness. It just makes things a lot easier because there's not a lot of like parking there. Otherwise, you're using the internal bus system, which is not bad, but yeah, it's one of those things that when you're staying there the first time, it takes like till like the second or third day to realize like what color bus you're supposed to get on to go to all the different places. And you'll eventually get there on most of them, but you may go around the whole campground instead of going straight to your loop for your cabins otherwise. So, but
yeah, I don't think people realize how big it is too, and like how like the grounds are sprawling. So it's especially after a long park day, I don't know if you want to put in another couple miles just to walk around too. So
yeah, but yes, I highly recommend that. I got to go for 4th of July last year, and I know they had like a golf cart parade for that, and that was amazing. And I can only imagine what they have a Christmas one. I'm not sure like if I think they just have it like the week of Christmas, which is unfortunate because I wish they would just have it like weekly. Which maybe they do. I haven't checked, but I think that would be cool to see too. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think probably a next good spot would probably do like the Crescent Lake ones. Because I know Yacht Club, Beach Club, and those ones. So we didn't get a chance to do that just because again we were down there for a week, and you think there's lots to do, or there's so much to do, so it's really hard to hit everything. But I've always heard amazing things. I think, is it Yacht Club or Beach Club that does that carousel, like made out of chocolate or gingerbread, and it's got like characters built into it?
Yeah, Beach Club does the carousel, and Yacht Club has a train set up.
Okay. Yeah, and another good area to visit that's a little offside the parks is definitely that Crescent Lake, the whole boardwalk. I know we got lucky; we kind of stumbled upon it. We rented the bikes during the day in the summer, which is not necessarily an easy thing to do. There's this one hill where you come around Yacht Club, and you're going like to the Swan and Dolphin area, and there's like this hill, and you're like, how is this even possible to go up this hill? And of course, everyone's trying to pedal, but I digress. It's a really cool place down there, the boardwalk, and then you had Ample Hills for ice cream and stuff like that. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and the boardwalk has one of the gingerbread displays also. I thought that was kind of neat. It had like actual characters in it. It was like representations of some of the boardwalk buildings. And one of my favorite things, and it's just a little thing that I don't know why it just like hit me as like, this is awesome. But I think it was like Mickey and Minnie were running the bakery, and I was like, I was like, wouldn't that be cool if Mickey and Minnie were actually running the bakery and making all the treats, especially, because that's like the only place in the boardwalk area where I think that's like the only place for like dining plan snack, or you can pick up your dining plan snacks at just near the resort. So
it's interesting. Like we were talking about earlier, we stayed at Yacht Club once, and the quick service isn't the greatest in like the Crescent Lake area. So like Boardwalk's quick service is the bakery, which is an awesome place. So I can only imagine what types of like special Christmas treats they have there, and that seems like another awesome place to just spend Christmas, just at the Boardwalk or any of those hotels.
Yeah, I mean, even the Swan and Dolphin, that kind of takes you a little bit out of the Disney bubble. I mean, they still have bus transportation, and it's a little more like conferencey type feel to it, but even they have like a light show that leads up in between the Swan and Dolphin. If they face each other, if you haven't been there before, but like where you get off the friendship boats that go in between, and they have like some special like Christmas things. There's one, I think it's at the Dolphin, or maybe both, but it's like where you can get like Mrs. Claus to come read your kid a bedtime story.
That's awesome.
It's kind of it's a cross between awesome and I'm like, I don't know if that'd be creepy or awesome, but yeah. But they even had some Christmas festivities going on, and especially that light show is pretty cool. It's not like Disney music, so again, it takes you outside the bubble, but sometimes you can find some deals there where you can stay in that area without because it is a non-Disney resort, and you can use like points and things like there, because I think it's
Hilton, maybe.
I think it's Marriott.
Okay.
But
whatever
points it is. Yeah,
we've seen because we have a Costco and now a Sam's Club membership. They're always like, go on Disney vacation. It's like the Swan and Dolphin, and it's probably like rack rate at any of the Crescent Lakes. You're probably most seasons like probably like $500-600 a night, and then you start getting into like Christmas, and you're probably another $200 on top of that. Whereas you can probably find a deal for Swan or Dolphin, maybe like the $200, between $200 and $300. So you're right there. I heard the rooms are huge, and you can't really,
nice.
You can't really beat where you're at either. Being down there too, being right in between Hollywood Studios and Epcot, so you're in a perfect location.
Yeah, it's a quick boat ride for sure, or the path. You can take the path over to Hollywood Studios too, so which becomes a little bit longer than you think it's going to be. I'll just warn anybody of that. It's fun on the way that you're like, oh, I'm walking to Hollywood. On the way back, yeah. So
and I think probably kind of off of the Crescent Lakes, I think my like non-favorite, because I think if you look, you have like the Monorail Loop resorts, which are huge. Then Crescent Lake is probably like the next biggest one. And then probably my other favorite one would be Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Okay.
I think just because of like how grand that lobby is, similar to Wilderness Lodge, where it's like larger than life. And again, they have another 50-foot Christmas tree in there. And there's always something special about being able to see that Christmas tree, and then grabbing like a zebra dome, and then going hang out with like giraffes and zebras and their safari right outside. So it's another awesome place on Disney.
Yeah, and they have like some of the most unique decorations too, because they're all like very themed towards Animal Kingdom Lodge, and just the grand nature of it. And one, I don't know if this is always, but like we went there, and they were having like a photo pass. They had a photo pass there too, and it was like Mickey in like this grand Christmas outfit. It was like a top hat and jacket and everything.
Oh, nice.
It was like the most formal, festive that I've ever, I think, seen Mickey. And so it was pretty cool. So the lighting is hard, but that was the best Christmas costume I think I've seen Mickey in the past. So.
Yeah, I think even if like you're not staying, because obviously all the resorts we're talking about are the deluxe resorts. Kind of like I started off with, even the values they still have with Christmas trees. There's still decorations everywhere. I think when you go into like Pop Century, I don't know what scent they put in there. It's probably like my favorite smelling resort. It's I don't know what it is. It just smells awesome.
Yeah.
And then like even on kind of like your moderates too, they still do a great job. So I'm saying like once you get down there and you're in the bubble, no matter where you're staying, you're gonna have a great time. And you're gonna see a ton of cool decorations, and it's like I haven't even been in a park yet, and I already feel awesome. And it's Christmas everywhere.
Yeah, I love Art of Animation for that. They have like a white, like very contemporary, modern Christmas tree in that lobby, and Yeah, I like all their decorations there. And Caribbean Beach is also one of my favorites because they've got like tropical mixed with Christmas decorations, and um, it's just a cool mix of things. So I mean, all of them
Yeah.
are great. That the I'm trying to think if there's any that we have, any that we haven't covered. I haven't seen one that I would definitely check out is like the new Grand Destino Tower at Coronado. It's very like subtle. They have a big tree, and it's like subtle Christmas in there. So it's not like as in your face as some of the other places, but but it's very grand in that lobby too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we missed any, because there is a ton of resorts, but I think especially if you're going down for Christmas week, or not even Christmas week, if you're going anytime, I would say like after Thanksgiving, you're pretty safe to have everything up around the resorts.
Mm-hmm.
And even, I guess, depending on how many days you're going for, I would definitely take a day, and instead of going to the parks, just go around and see all the resorts.
Yeah.
There's so much to do. You're not going to be able to see everything. But kind of like we've been talking about, Scott, I would say either you pick kind of the Crescent Lake loop, or potentially you pick the monorail loop, which even is fun in itself, where you can do, say, like a snack or a drink over at one of them, then do like another snack or a dinner, and then kind of like dessert at the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of just do like a little loop too in that way. So you can't go wrong.
Yeah. And with the Skyliner now, it makes it a little bit easier to get back and forth if you wanted to go over to from the moderate resorts over to Crescent Lake and whatnot. So
yeah,
there's definitely some more options now. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. So you want to move on to the parks and kind of go from there?
Yeah, I think we're doing parks, or we'll do parks, and then we'll do I think that's what we decided. Yeah.
Okay. That's okay.
There's a lot to cover. Yeah.
This is live, people. You can't expect perfection. So.
Yes. All right. So I'll let you pick which park. So we're talking Disney World. Just we might throw in some Disneyland things here, but we're talking Disney World. So we'll try to go park by park, but I can't guarantee that we won't skip back because we forgot something that we're like, we need to talk about that. So I'll let you start with which park do you want to start with, Will?
I think Animal Kingdom, because I think I didn't get to go down last year, but seeing all the pictures, I think that was probably like the most improved park from a theming standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you got a chance to see those new puppets that they had there.
Yes.
People were saying that you start hanging out with them, and then the performers there were so good that you stopped even like realizing they were there, and you like thought you actually saw like a polar bear kind of walking around, and the way they were interacting with guests. I mean, it just, that was probably the best thing that Disney added all of last season.
Yeah, I don't remember that as well, but I do remember like, they had like added decorations on top of the shops and things like that, like in the main area of like Discovery Island as you're coming in.
Yep.
I've always loved like all of the decorations around Animal Kingdom because there's a lot of like handmade looking stuff, and it's just it's one of there's not as many like Christmas things like that, like a feature necessarily, but the whole thing's a feature to me. Like one of the cool things they did this year, well, two things. They the Tree of Life has like a special holiday, and I tried to remember what the name of it is, so somebody's gonna know what it is off the top of their head, I know, but but it was a special like holiday version of the Tree of Life, and it would come to celebrate the season. They had, I may be wrong, but I feel like they had new theme music. So it was pretty like super festive, like energetic Christmas, Animal Kingdom park related music. So there's like some themes that you've heard, like I think the holly and the ivy, but it's like a pumped up like drums and other instruments. I'm not explaining it very well, but it's
that's okay.
really good.
Yeah.
So things you've heard that are familiar for Christmas, but just definitely Animal Kingdom's version of that. So I really like that. We kind of like had to run through the park because we didn't have, even though we're not too far away from the park, again, it's hard to fit everything in. So this was like okay, we have like 2 hours and can go do as much as we can.
Gotcha.
They had Pandora decorated this year. So that was kind of neat. There's a neat picture I got of like, they had like a Pandora nutcracker, which I love nutcrackers. So they had like a regular nutcracker and then a Pandora nutcracker next to it. So
that's awesome.
that was of all, there's grander things that were there, but and like stuff made of like I don't know how to explain it, but like Pandora-y type stuff.
Yeah.
You get the idea. But and then the other Dinoland USA, they kind of made an attempt at like somewhat doing like an Osborne Lights type thing. I appreciated it. It was really good. It's not quite the Osborne Lights, so I don't want to get people's hopes up, but it's quite fun. And I love that whole Dinoland area for just all the decorations and things.
And I thought I saw pictures, and they have a Scrooge McDuck down there taking pictures. Which
I think I'm trying to think if he is there normally, because like in the area near like Restaurantosaurus, they have been having like the DuckTales characters there.
Yes.
Like Launchpad McQuack is normally there. I'm trying to think if Scrooge was normally there, but there was like a Christmas scene with Scrooge McDuck. So you kind of had that feeling of like the Mickey's Christmas Carol situation going on.
I think Animal Kingdom, like you were kind of like going to rank like the 4 out of 4 parks, was maybe like if you had 3 days of park tickets, you're like, you can skip Animal Kingdom. It's not really themed. I think it's probably on my ranking still 4 out of 4, but it's probably taken the biggest leap, like progress, like year over year, and it's getting pretty close where it's even now for like pass holders, kind of going back to like what times are in now, where you only get 3 days of tickets. I don't know how pass holders make, like how you guys decide on what tickets and what parks to go to. It's it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's like, I don't feel like it's like I've completed the Disney Christmas experience until I've gone to Animal Kingdom. I almost like to like start there to get that Christmas feeling, and then kind of move on to some of the things from the parks, because they're always doing something that's a little bit different. One tip I will give though to people that are going to Animal Kingdom for Christmas, and I don't know how this will be affected by the different park opening times and things like that, but they typically have like special themed Christmas characters, and like Scrooge McDuck was there a little bit longer than some of the others, but they're normally gone early in the day. So like, if the park's open to like 8, like 4 or 5 o'clock, they're gone. So, and it might be like a Christmas scarf or something. They have like King Louie and Baloo at one point. I don't know what it is about like just putting a scarf on, Pluto or any of the characters, but it just makes it that much better. So
now you put an idea in my head. So I don't know, again, Disney, we're trying to give you great ideas. I want to see a Christmas scarf on Kevin with the Santa hat walking around Animal Kingdom. It's completely tacky, and he's a bird or she's a bird, but I would just love to at least see one picture of Kevin with a Christmas scarf on.
Well, if I'm down there for some reason and I have a Christmas scarf with me, I'll see if it's not something that they're already doing, I'll see if I can get them to put it on there for you. So
that'd be awesome.
See if we can make it happen.
For sure. Sounds great.
Cool.
Yeah, where do you want to go next?
I think just because it's a little more methodical, I'll go to Epcot, because there's a lot to do there. Again, it's hard to do everything. I would highly recommend the first thing you do when you go to Epcot at Christmas time is to go grab the one of the little guides for the Christmas. And I'll note that Christmas doesn't start till much later at Epcot, like you said, like probably like Thanksgiving time and things like that is about when Christmas starts at Epcot. So a lot of these things aren't going on quite yet until then. But let's see, it is the Festival of the Holidays at Epcot, not to confuse it with Festival of Holidays at Disney's California Adventure. But but you want to get your booklet so that you know like where all the food things are and stuff like that. But you also want a times guide, because there's a million things to do, storytellers, all that stuff. So I figure we can't talk about all of them, just like you can't get to all of them. So what are maybe one or two of your favorites?
So I've
the things that are there.
So with young kids, there's like when I start planning my vacation, so I'm like the complete Disney nerd. My wife, and that's why she loves me so much, is I plan the Disney trips and she just gets to show up. So like I have the idea like what we do at Epcot. It's one of my favorite parks. Not so easy with kids all the time. So I really I'm trying to think if it's either Germany or if it's Norway, where it's like their version of the Santa, but he's like kind of mischievous and he like plays tricks. And there's like the one where they stop him and he's like paws and stuff like that. I can't remember which one that is. But I remember we stopped and watched it for a
Yeah, I want to say it's Germany, because going out of the Disney realm, I think it was similar to the Santa that Dwight was trying to be in one of the episodes. Something like that. But I think that was Germany. Yeah.
Okay. So there's because I'm trying to think of, and like I said, there is one in every country, and so you say it's the Festival of the Holidays. Is that how it's called, or is it festival?
Yes, Festival of the Holidays. Just one word different from Disney California Adventure, which is Festival of Holidays. So
like I said, so there's like all these food booths. There's all those special events. That's why you need your times guide. I think you almost missed the best thing, which is there's a cookie trail where you can get like cookies, and if you buy, well, first you have to buy the cookies because it's Disney, but if you buy like 5 or 6 cookies, you get one at the end.
And that one's free. So,
yes. And, what's one of your favorite ones at one of the pavilions, or I guess countries?
I can't remember like the exact cookie you're talking about.
Yes. So either cookies or the special reader.
Okay. Yeah. I think La Befana, and I'm probably not saying that right. I definitely did not spell it right when I wrote it down, but you don't get to see how I spelled it. Italy. So La Befana is the Christmas witch. So I think she's just, Père Noël has pretty close in France with his storytelling, but I feel like La Befana is the one that's like the most into the story and telling it, and it's a little bit different because they're talking more about like Christmas traditions and things like that, where La Befana is talking about like the birth of Christ, and like it's the whole Christmas story from that perspective, but also the special toys and things like that. So but she's really into it and in character, and so I like her storytelling the best of, I think, the storytellers there. Christmas food, it's hard to say.
There's Epcot's always the hardest. I think we'll get into a little bit on like the processional. There's so much food around there that it's hard to pick, and then you kind of like snack across the park. We usually we'll do like a quick service meal at one of the countries, and then kind of just like snack our way around. Just because there's so much food there. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what I'm really blank. I really needed to bring like my booklet with me here because
Yeah.
I am missing some of that. But I guess that cuts out on some of the time because we'd be here all night talking about the different things.
No, you could. Yeah,
Yeah,
you could
I'll
spend.
just say I like a good eggnog from
Oh, for sure.
like the Bouche de Noël. France has that. Actually, I think there's a couple. Canada has one too. So that can't go wrong with those.
Yeah.
There's normally a good like eggnog, with or without, special drink included.
Yeah.
At in the American Pavilion somewhere. Yeah, so I think those are my favorites. Oh, and yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't, on the acts and things like that are there. You have to stop by the Canada Pavilion and check out the performers there. I don't know if they'll be the same. I don't know how they're doing that. It is a gathering, so I'm not sure where we'll be when they do that. But it's just like really, it's like rock and roll, like Christmas music, and it's just a really fun atmosphere, and you can't miss it because as you're stopping by, you almost have to stop, and there's like people, kind of ebbing out into the walkway. So you'll at least have to slow down for it when it's going on. So
yeah, no, I'm kind of like as the parks are reopening. So like what's today, the 8th of July already. So it's when we're recording, and obviously the cast members just got into the preview yesterday. And I'm kind of confused by like Disney in general of like what they're counting, because I saw like these cavalcades now, which just seem like they're like, oh, they're random, but they seem like parades, and I'm assuming people are going to stop and watch them. So it'll be interesting to see how they translate that in to like the festivals, especially kind of having like the storytellers, if they'll have those in December and kind of going forward. So yeah, I don't know if they're just going to have like festival performers, like maybe just like walking around and telling a story while walking.
That'd be a good
hopefully
idea.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, especially December's now 5 months away, or less than 6 months away. So hopefully things are better now, and we'll see what's going to happen. But it's going to be interesting. It's this year is different than any other I've seen at Disney and in the world in general. So
yeah, I think I forget that a little bit when we're talking about this. So we'll hope that it's everything that we remember and everything, but we'll have to see. And that's one of the things, is just to be patient with it, because one of the things that might do is limit the things that are available so that you can actually do more and not feel like you're missing out on some of the things. I don't know. That's just
that's a good because I think going into probably one of the like best things that Epcot does is the candlelight processional. And kind of like to tie it back to my favorite topic, which is food at Disney. Kind of a tip if you're going, just because like you were saying, it's if you're doing standby, you could be waiting in standby for kind of up to 2 or 3 hours and still not be guaranteed a seat. But you can book a dining package where if you're going to eat, you can get somewhere that's I think like Rose and Crown, and then like Via Napoli for pizza isn't as expensive as, say, if you go to like Akershus and you're doing the Christmas at like $70 a plate. You can kind of get a meal and then get a guaranteed spot. But I think like you were saying, there's some really, really good people that do these processionals and then doing the reading of Christmas. So or not reading Christmas. Better than I do. So
yeah, the Christmas. I think they're reading from Luke, the Christmas story from Luke, in the Bible. So mixed in with all sorts of music from choirs from the area. It's a real local thing too. Like Walt Disney started that himself. In Disneyland's really hard to get into. I happened to be there and I was like, oh, we can go to the processional. And no, it was like you wanted to get, if you didn't have a ticket to be in the main area, you kind of like Disneyland's a little bit different. Like crowd flow is one thing at Disney World. Disneyland is like, you got to kind of be constantly moving until something actually starts, and then they'll let you stop. But otherwise, the cast members will kind of keep you moving in the main areas. But anyway, it's great that it's at Epcot because more people can see it, and there's more. Like Disneyland does it, I think, twice, and that's it. Where it's like weeks of different people reading it. Gary Sinise is normally there. He's a regular. One of the favorites for a lot of people is Neil Patrick Harris. Whoopi Goldberg is typically there. Pat Sajak was there this year. Just a number of others. Typically what I've seen is if they have kind of their main people that do it. I missed John Stamos doing it. He was doing it one year. I would have loved to hear him.
Yeah, for sure.
As the reader, but though typically, if it's not somebody like if you watch ABC for a little bit, then you'll probably recognize. Okay, that's the person from this. And normally you can tell because like in the book it'll say like this person from like this show, so you remember who it is. But they're all I haven't heard a bad one yet. What I found this year, because we were living in a little coaster, it was trying to get into the show. Like there's normally three shows per night, and so you kind of got to get in, unless you want to wait all day. You got to get in line, and then you are waiting in line through one of the shows at least. And if you're in the standby line, if you don't have one of those dining packages, but you still might miss it because like I thought I was safe on a couple occasions, and then didn't end up getting into the show. And but still watching it and hearing it from right outside. They let you, a certain number of people stand like right behind where the American Garden Theater is. And yes, you can still listen to it from farther away too, but it's really just sets off the holidays, and you can kind of see the pride of the people that are doing it, because it's I think it's a lot of, again, local like high schools and things like that get to come in and do the music. So it's probably the crown jewel of the of the Epcot part of the celebrations. So
it's if you've never done it before, it's definitely a worthwhile experience. Especially kind of like you're saying, Scott, if you can't get in, and you're just kind of like strolling by, catch some, or if you get lucky enough to kind of get a spot up top. It's something you don't forget. It's what do you think they're gonna do? Because I was a little surprised when they canceled the Eat to Beat for the fall and for the food and wine. Because I was kind of thinking, well, you got an open air theater, you can kind of space people out. I don't know if Disney's just concerned about having people like accumulate up top potentially, or kind of like crowd around. So do you think they'll do it?
I don't know. I mean, I think we've got a couple months of like, I think it just depends on what happens. Cause, right where we're sitting right now, things started opening up, and then like there were more cases. So things got tightened down a little bit. So I think it depends on how much things get tightened back down, how long that period is before they start opening up. I mean, Disney's definitely open, cast member previews have happened. Pass holder previews start tomorrow, as we're recording this. So Disney's, opening up, whether, so it'd probably take a lot for it to not continue that process. But I think what they're doing right now is just taking away everything and then probably slowly adding the pieces back and at certain capacities and percentages. And like before, like they took away all character dining. Now they've added, there was one with Topolino's Terrace, and now they've added back Garden Grill. So I think as they figure out whether people are gonna listen and get a sense of that, I think that's the biggest thing they have to figure out is, will people listen to the actual recommendations that they're giving?
Yeah.
And you never know, this thing could all go away by then too. It just depends on what happens. But I think for the time being, with the scenario that we're in, they're just going to take everything away that would remotely have a crowd. Even that guy in Italy who stacks the chairs, or France, I can't remember.
No, it's Italy. Yeah,
it's Italy. Okay, and then slowly add things back to until they have, kind of a happy medium in that. I mean, like you said, the theater definitely could be spread out to have certain capacity. I don't know what their feelings are in terms of like, for something like the candlelight processional, is it fair? Are they going on like the fairness principle where it's like, if people can't, eat the beat, not as many people are like trying to cram in there.
Yeah.
But if you can only fit like 10% capacity for the candlelight processional, are you going to make more people mad than you make happy with that? I could see them like maybe doing the processional where they have like the choirs like spread out, with the social distancing or whatever is required at the time. And then, but even then, people are still going to gather. So I don't know.
So. And I think it's hard. So I think it's I don't know. I guess we'll see, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess for the next two, so I think I have a unpopular opinion among most Disney folks.
Okay.
My favorite Christmas park is not Magic Kingdom, which I think it's safe to say most people's probably is Magic Kingdom for Christmas. And I guess if you want, we can go to Hollywood Studios. I'm a big Disney retro guy, and kind of like the subtle touches they have of like Disney and like old retro Christmas. Obviously the Osborne lights were huge back in the day before Galaxy's Edge came. So I think Hollywood Studios is my favorite park for Christmas time at Disney.
I would say that too, for like regular operating hours. Yeah, definitely Hollywood Studios. That's one of my favorites too. Like I said, I love the vintage decor. Like I said, just putting like a scarf or something on, a character. I love that they put a hat on Gertie the dinosaur on Echo Lake. I mean, that just does it for me. And the other, well, we'll go through some of the different parts, but one of the things I think that is a challenge with Hollywood Studios, though, is that a lot of the stuff takes place at night.
Yes.
So maybe we'll go through like what you can do throughout the day, and then talk about the night things and like what things are probably our favorites, or like if we had to only choose something, what those would be. So so I'll let you go first on that.
I'm trying to think during the day. Like I said, the theme is more geared towards night on the special things they do. They kind of like the subtle touches, like we're kind of hinting on like the vintage decorations throughout the park. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now on at least the day side. I think, my memories are mainly from the night at Hollywood Studios.
All right. Well, I'll jump in with one then.
Okay.
So we have I guess, most of the things are at night, but things that you can do during the day. so there's some version of Santa at, I believe, all the parks. I'm trying to think where that is at Animal Kingdom, but for Hollywood Studios, if you go down like where you would go into like the Beauty and the Beast theater.
Oh yeah, there's Santa right there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's Santa Goofy. So,
Santa Goofy.
So he has a great little area like in one of the shops, and they have like a little space set up. And it's normally not like super well known that he's there. I mean, it says it on the marquee, but and the trick to it is there's sessions that they do. So you've kind of got to get there, and you've got to get in line before the cast member is at the back of the line to keep you from being in the next group, or you got to wait around and then jump in as soon as the next group is started. So that's kind of the trick there. So sometimes that's difficult to do, and we just try to catch that if we can, but we don't spend too much time there. And like I said, there's I can't promise that we're not going to go back to the other parks.
Yeah,
Epcot has the absolute best Santa and Mrs. Claus in the American Pavilion. So I'll say that.
I'll have to check that out next time.
I think it's the same people that have been doing it for a while, and they just like, you got great timing, and they like to joke around with you, all sorts of stuff. But anyway, back to Hollywood Studios. So Goofy Mickey, not Goofy Mickey, Goofy Santa.
That'd be like a Halloween thing.
I'm going to get another drink of my cup of cheer here.
No, and I'll jump in here. There's a really good dessert at on like the Sunshine Seasons. It was like it was like an eggnog gingerbread type, almost like Italian like mousse type dessert.
Okay.
And it was we went over there right away during the day, and it was awesome. Now, I was talking about the day stuff. They have. Yeah. Again, my family always makes fun of me. They yell at me because I eat all the snack credits as we go on. So we have the dining plan. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, you're not using your snacks. You got to keep on track, because I'm the type of person that's like, no, you cannot go at the gift shop and buy like a $2 bag of chips at the end of the trip. I'm like, why? They call me the snack guy, but we live with it.
You just can't eat dinner. They'll eat the dinners, and you kick you out of the restaurant. No,
exactly.
So that I'll jump on that, and then one other thing that's there. I think that's it after that. But they have like little snacks throughout the park. So like ABC Commissary, the Backlot Express normally has one, and there's like a Christmas shop that has a cool like place to take photos that's out like back behind Muppet Vision 3D. So you'll see it. There's like a snowman, and it's where Muppet Vision 3D comes out. You wouldn't really know it unless you went back in there. But like Santa's like up on the roof and stuff like that. So
very cool.
A cool little like picture. You want to take some pictures. There's no photo pass, but there's normally like a dessert in that shop as well. And then the last thing is the Frozen Sing-Along has a Christmas version, which I have not been able to see yet, I think. But
we saw it, and they sing like a bunch of from like Olaf's Frozen Adventure. They sing a lot of songs from there.
Maybe I did see it, but
it's that place is cool because trying to think of now. I know of 3 places where it's Snopes on Disney property, and obviously the Frozen Sing-Along one is one of those. Mm-hmm. So it's cool. I remember the first time we went with our daughter, and we're still in the Frozen phase where we can't get out of it. And
I don't mind the Frozen phase.
I like Frozen. I may have listened to it in the car going to work and stuff like that. I won't lie. Mm-hmm. I like Frozen 2 better than Frozen 1. I think the music's even better there, and there's something cool just about being in there and kind of with the live music from time to time that they sing. So they do a really good job there too.
Yeah, we might listen to Olaf's Frozen Adventure. I mean, watch it on Disney Plus like maybe once a week, at least.
We're at like twice a day here, so
twice a day. Okay. Well, I mean, I could do twice a day, but
Yeah.
yeah.
We get my 2-year-old has now started to learn her voice, so she'll tell us to say, "I want to watch Olaf," like Olaf. She's like, "No, Olaf," and then so she has that. She has Baby Shark, and then Guppies for Bubble Guppy. So I will take Olaf's Frozen Adventure over either one of those. So
gotcha. Yeah, it's a nice
sure.
grand Christmassy song. So I like those. The other thing that's not like Christmas specific is the Olaf is there. So
yeah,
I don't think he's in Christmas attire, but he's
no, but he'll give you a warm
normally a
hug,
short way.
so.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
You can pretend.
The only other small detail that was we didn't really expect it is we went to get his autograph, and then he says, "No, I can't sign," and they hand you a signature. So, which I was like, "Oh, Olaf doesn't sign, but that's okay."
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. All right. So I think that covers most of the daytime stuff.
Yeah.
So, I will mention if you get a chance, it's not necessarily something you don't necessarily have to eat there, but if you stop in the, I'm going to get this wrong because I always forget what order it's in, but the 50s Primetime Diner. 50s Primetime Cafe. Yeah.
I think it's 50s Primetime Cafe.
Yes. Okay. So we'll go with that. They have some cool vintage decorations in there and like ornaments on the tree and stuff. So I recommend that. But yes, and then to the nighttime. So what is your favorite nighttime thing at Hollywood Studios?
Yeah. So when we went in 2018, I don't know how long they had been doing it for, but they started doing like a projection on the Tower of Terror. So it's for me, it's crazy because we had a stretch where we didn't go to Disney for about 5 years, and then we came back, kind of like after we got married, and like projection technology has gotten so good over these past couple of years. And then I don't know what it is. It's something about hearing Christmas music in the Disney parks, watching like the projections on the Tower of Terror, and then which I did not expect, it starts snowing, or they start putting the snow down Sunset Boulevard too. So you're just there. It's just, and kind of another cool thing that they do that we haven't really brought up yet is PhotoPass. And then a lot of the PhotoPass photographers have a lot of special accessories for the holidays and for Christmas. So you might get like the Christmas balls for like the trees and things like that. And they do a good job too. And like I said, that Sunset Boulevard, when you're walking down, that Christmas music is blaring, the tower's just lit up with the projections. It's special.
Yes. And I have the official name for it because I wrote it down because I knew I was going to get it wrong. And I wrote it down wrong, and then I got the correct one. But Sunset Seasons Greetings is what that's called. Yeah. But yeah, the first time I saw it, I was just kind of like, because it's really neat already because it has like the vintage decorations, and then like that, the whole, I won't ruin it for like the first time that people get to see it, that like, I would just say that everything just like comes alive on that street, and it is really, really awesome. And I will, I think you mentioned some things where like, you're like, people don't and may not want to wait, and you're like, just leave me. I'll find my way back. Because I want to sit there and like watch through it at least a few times before before I leave. Maybe multiple times. But,
it's an awesome experience, and it's one of those things where I think, especially around Christmas, there's so many things where it's not you have to have like, besides like the candlelight processional, where you don't need a reservation, you don't need to go on like a ride or anything. You just have to be in the parks, which is really cool. So.
Yeah, I think they do a good job at that. I mean, like the area, not counting like heading back to Galaxy's Edge, which is a whole, another vast area, but the area in which they do a lot of these things is at night is fairly close to each other, so you can kind of get to both things, but sometimes they're going on at the same time. Like one small thing that's going on kind of as sunset season's greeting. Yeah, sunset season's greetings is starting.
Twister.
Yes. It. I feel like I didn't hear this going on, but I think it was. But they do like the tree lighting, which is really hard to catch. But they do it at Echo Lake, and they light the tree that's in the middle. And I believe there's like they do like a Christmas carol or something like that. And you can hear it from other parts of the park, but like once you're hearing it, it's probably too late to try to get over there to see it because it'll be done by the time you get there. But I want to catch that sometime when I'm actually like in Echo Lake because, like I said, I love all the vintage decorations around there, and just Gertie the Dinosaur's my favorite there too. So,
and I can't even believe I haven't even brought up Toy Story Land and how cool that is.
Yes, that just popped in my mind too.
I mean, it's already cool at night. You kind of have that feel where you're smaller, and then I mean, there's already the lights most of the year time, but then they add even more lights. And I'm trying to think, if like you said, I think Buzz Lightyear might be in like a scarf or like a Christmas hat. I have that vision in my head.
Yeah, they've got they've the characters, and then like the big figurine characters are all dressed up.
Rex isn't Rex all dressed up too and everything.
I feel like it. Yeah.
So that's another place. One thing they could improve on, and I don't think it'll ever happen because they want like Galaxy's Edge to be like super serious Star Wars. But I know one of the photographers I follow on Instagram. He had a picture of just like a couple of stormtroopers walking out, and I was like, I sent him a photo back with a stormtrooper with a Santa hat on, and instead of their rifle, a candy cane. I was like, if I could make this happen just once, just kind of chasing someone around. It'll be okay, Disney. We could have it. Or if even if Kylo Ren had like a candy cane lightsaber that he was walking around. Now, with the theming and everything, they want to keep Galaxy's Edge, like I said, Galaxy's Edge, but I think it's kind of like, sneak a little bit in there or something.
And now I won't give this away, and don't go watch my YouTube channel if you don't want to give it away before you head to Fort Wilderness. But I will just say Fort Wilderness. So that's it.
Okay.
Toy Story Land, all the they have like the alien ornaments, which I think are cool. And they also have, what am I trying to think of? At the Woody's Lunchbox, they have like some special like Christmas tarts, which
they're not Pop-Tarts, right? They're like whatever the Disney, I can't remember what they actually
call the Disney version is. Yeah, it's like I can't think of the name at the moment, but whatever version of it is, I mean, I try it because they're all good. But there is a special Christmas version. There on the Christmas food side.
Yeah, I think it's Hollywood Studios, I believe it's the smallest park, or it feels like it's the smallest park. You kind of get across pretty quickly. I think why I love it so much is they do a really good job of having a little bit of Christmas everywhere throughout that whole park. Like I said, besides Galaxy's Edge, there's really nowhere you can go at that park that doesn't feel like it's Christmas.
Yeah, I think the only other thing we haven't talked about here is the show, the Jingle Bell Jingle Bam.
Yeah, I've never got to see that. Okay. Have you seen it before?
Yeah, I've seen it in past years. This year, like, we had a situation where, again, I was like trying to do two things at once at Christmas, where I was at Epcot, and I was trying to do the processional and somehow get there to see it, because it was like the last day that we were going to potentially be there to see it. So we took we had the option of like walking from Epcot or not, or taking a boat, and it was like going to be really close whatever we did. So we chose boat, and we just happened to get on the boat that like we were the first ones on, and they
Oh
were going to
no.
wait until everybody it was toward park closing, so they were going to wait
Yeah.
for everybody to get on. So we missed it, but we got there like it was kind of neat to see all the fireworks and everything over the like the marquee for Hollywood Studios. So that was a unique experience because it started going off as the boat was arriving. So we still went.
That'd be cool.
And you could hear it. I could kind of see it in my mind. The actual like story of it, like I think Prep and Landing is okay, but I don't like. It's not like my favorite Christmas thing about Disney. So I think it was okay that I didn't see like necessarily the full on effects, but it is a cool show to see, and I definitely recommend it. And another opportunity for some Disney snow. So
I think the one part where Hollywood Studios struggles, even like on the Christmas side in general, I think they're still trying to find their footing on their fireworks show. Because I know people have liked the Star Wars, but I think it's kind of getting a little old for some people. But I don't know if it's because of where they're geographically located that they can't have necessarily like the same style of fireworks as maybe like your Epcots or your Magic Kingdoms. But yeah, I think that's one area where they could improve and probably. But other than that, I love everything about Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're definitely maxing out some of the pyrotechnics because, like, I have been in trying to get like the final ride on Slinky Dog right before you come out and the fireworks start for, and it sounds like a war zone. Like as you're coming around, like where that Joffrey's is at the corner, like it's a war zone. And then you like if you're standing right there, right outside of Toy Story Land, turning that corner. Like you can feel that heat, like almost. I think that's about as close as they can get, folks to the heat, and it's probably why they have to limit the fireworks a little bit too. Maybe they could get like a Christmas version of Fantasmic or something. Together.
That would be cool.
I think that would be awesome.
And that would be really cool.
And throw up some fireworks over there. But
no, for sure.
Disney, are you listening?
Yes.
That way you can spread people out.
Ideas.
There you go. Yeah, spread people out, designated seating. There we go.
Social distancing, see?
Or candlelight processional in the Fantasmic Theater.
Yeah, and then you could have probably 5 times the audience, even spread out.
You can still sell dining packages, so you won't miss out on that.
Exactly.
Oh, one thing I'll say about the dining packages is they are not limited to like dinner, just so people know. Like there's meals throughout the day that you can go to that will get you a ticket, but sometimes they may be like you have to sign up for a certain one, and like the one maybe like if you did breakfast or early lunch, like you're getting the early dining, you may not get to choose. So.
And that's a good tip too, especially for our savvy money folks at Disney, because we all know Disney's expensive, especially at lunch menus. If you can go and you can get like a sandwich or something like that, you probably spend, I don't know, maybe $15 less per head there for lunch instead of dinner. So that's a good tip. Great tip.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, there was something that I was going to mention.
Yeah, it's so hard. There's so much.
Like I said, we're going to go back just one more time. The Epcot, when they had the illuminations, and I didn't get to see it. I got to see it from afar. I always wanted to see it, and then it just never worked out. But they had an extra tag on illuminations.
The holiday tag.
The holiday tag, with like "Hark the Herald Angels Sing," I think is the main song. There were a couple songs, but I missed that before it went away. I'm curious if they'll bring it back for the extra holiday tag on whatever the next fireworks iteration is going to be. So we'll see.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where Hollywood Studios doesn't have as many fireworks. It's almost like Epcot went and stole Hollywood Studios fireworks for that holiday tag.
Yeah.
Because when I went last year, so I saw Whoopi Goldberg at the Candlelight Processional. My family had gone back because Epcot could be a long day, especially if you're getting there right at park opening.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw Whoopi, and then I was just walking around, and then saw illuminations, and then with the holiday tag, and I mean that was crazy with how many fireworks they just put up in the air. It's like daylight again. It's just
Yeah.
lighting up the sky. So it's no, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully they'll bring something back like that, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see it at some point.
Yeah,
But I love those little things that they do. That they don't necessarily have to do, but they do
yeah.
anyway. So, all right, we'll go back out of Epcot one more time. And can you think of any? I was trying to think if there's anything else in Hollywood Studios to
No,
note.
I'm trying to. No, I'm trying to think. I think we got it pretty good. I can't really think of anything
Okay,
off the top of my head.
gotcha. Okay. So I guess we'll go to what most people would think of as like the biggest, and starting November. For some reason, I thought it was like November 1st, but I think you're right about the how extra Halloween party, and it'll remain to be seen what happens.
Yeah,
If they can do the Christmas party, will they start it early?
yeah,
Because they missed out on, they already canceled Halloween parties.
yeah. I
Um,
was surprised last year
yeah.
because I had seen like how popular like the Halloween, like I guess whatever, like the ultimate pass where you could it's
Mhm.
like $300, but you can go to every Halloween party.
Mhm.
I was surprised they didn't do that for the Christmas party. I guess maybe the Christmas parties are selling out more consistently than the Halloweens.
I'm not sure on that. Yeah. I think it would be, and we'll get to the Christmas party for sure, but I think it would lose like some specialness to it because there's like Halloween
Yeah,
party has a lot of repeatability to
yeah,
it. Christmas
especially like
party has like the special moment for the
yeah,
season type thing that if you did it multiple times, it would still be awesome, but it might wear off a little bit.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Sorry, I think like Magic Kingdom, I think out of all the parks has like the greatest, like just going down Main Street, you kind of walk into the parks, you get, see all the garland and everything everywhere. And
mhm,
then you kind of turn the corner underneath the train station, you see the ginormous tree there. And
mhm.
then you just like look down Main Street, and if you hit it at night for the first time, seeing those dream lights on the castle all the way and just like glowing like a star, and it's just I don't know, it's like even it's hard to even like talk about that, like tearing up just
Yeah.
how beautiful
Mhm,
it is.
mhm.
And then you start having like the snow come down, and it's just you hear the music, and it's I don't know, it's just a really really special place just seeing that right down Main Street.
Yeah. The um, the tree lighting's awesome. I like the fact that you can actually stand under the tree there. I
Yeah,
don't think that's possible at the other. I think the other ones like go straight to the ground for
yeah,
the most part. I think that's one of the few trees that you can actually like stand under. So that's kind of a neat thing about that specific tree. Um, Trying to think of things that are just like on Main Street, and uh, they'll normally do like the lighting of the castle. Um,
yep,
and just kind of offhand topic, if you ever want to
yeah,
see kind of like how they do some of the Christmas stuff and this Christmas special services, I believe they have some of the specials that they normally run like on Freeform and whatnot,
yep.
um, on Disney Plus. So you can kind of, I think they're already on there. So I think you can see that transformation process where they go
Oh, it's
straight from Halloween to Christmas overnight. But one of the big things is the lights on the castle.
yeah,
They light those up, and it's like a Frozen themed
yeah,
um, thing. Short thing, but um, kind of an easier show to see than some of the
yeah,
longer stage shows because not as many people are gathered there for it. So
yeah. And it's like I think that kind of like hub Main Street castle, like I said,
mhm.
is great. But the one thing that's almost a little disappointing is you kind of once you get out of like that main hub area, there
Mhm.
really isn't too much like direct Christmas throughout the parks. I mean, there's a little touches
Mhm.
here and there, um, but you're kind of like once you get off Main Street, it's kind of like okay, it's just like a almost like a normal park day throughout the rest of the park.
Yeah, I feel like there could be more done there. There's and I think that you're right. I think that's probably one of the things that makes some of the other parks that are like all out decorated, my favorite. They are Magic Kingdom is like the first to get decorated, so that's typically for folks that are a little bit closer, that may be kind of the start of the holiday season there, because that's start through November. You've got Christmas, which I don't mind. It's like I don't know about you, just outside of Disney, but we have the walls of our garage where we have stored boxes, and one side is definitely mostly Christmas stuff, and and we even cleaned out some before our last move.
Yeah.
And, it's still there. So November 1st is a good. It's fine for me in terms of. And sometimes I'm like, okay, do we start earlier and getting the boxes ready so we can start on November 1st?
Yeah.
So anyway, but
no, it's nice. Especially if you follow any photographers on Instagram, it's like you kind of have from like August to October is all Halloween, and then it's like November 1st, like Christmas, and then it's like tree lightings throughout the parks, the different parades and everything like that. The castle. I mean, I'm trying to think how many photos of the castle from different angles and different colors I posted last year, and it had to be close to like 50 over that time span. So it's probably one of my favorite sites out of all of Disney, kind of all time, I would say, just seeing that castle.
Gotcha. Yeah, the other piece that I like that's not specific to the Christmas party or like Christmas week, which we'll talk about the Christmas week when we get there, but is the Jingle Cruise.
Yes. Yeah.
So I love the Jungle Cruise. Love the Jingle Cruise even more. And you talked about places that are decorated, and like I have a whole section of my phone pictures that is just like taking a picture at every turn you almost don't want to fast pass because you want to absorb all of the stuff that's going on in the queue for that. And
for sure.
The radio transmissions that are going on, I just like to listen to those because they're Christmas themed during that. Can you think I'm trying to think offhand, I don't have one right with me, but do you have a favorite Christmas themed Jungle Cruise joke? I know I'm putting you on the spot there.
I'm trying to think, because Jungle Cruise is like my type of humor, like the dry, like kind of like slow drawl, like serious but not serious. And trying to think, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I just know, same with you, Jingle Cruise is awesome. I mean, if you're down there, you have to do it.
Yeah, it's a available daytime thing, but at night it's even better. The boats are all dressed up. They have different Christmas themed names. Again, you need to take in like everything within the queue, because there's all these little like Christmas letters from the Jungle Cruise skippers, and which are just hilarious, and there's like eggnog jokes and so many jokes. I
feel like the Jungle Cruise is like very polarizing. You have fans of like us that love the Jungle Cruise, and then other people, it's like, I don't get it. What are we looking at? Like, okay, it's like these horrible animatronics from like the 1960s. Like, listen to the skipper, calm down, enjoy the ambiance, and it knows not to take itself too serious. So.
So I will always try to fit that in for sure. That not necessarily like Christmas themed, and this is going to make me jump back to a different park here too, but Liberty Tree Tavern, they have the all you care to eat. I love all you care to eat, and I love that phrasing. I don't know who came up with it, but I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
But the all you care to eat meal. I mean, you can order off the menu there.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, but yeah, it's like traditional like Thanksgiving type meals. Yeah, definitely puts you in the holiday spirit
For sure.
And so you can. I think they have. I want to say they have like pot roast and things like that through the
Yeah, because the
through
lunch,
like the regular, and then
yeah,
turkey dinner for
yeah, it's
like
like
holiday
what is
season.
it? There's turkey. There's some type of like I think pork, and then some type of cow or beef,
Yeah,
like roast
and
beef.
it changed a little bit. I think they took out the like at the holidays normally they had a green bean casserole. Um, and then I think last time I went, they didn't have that. But other than that,
Okay.
it's still
Yeah.
pretty cool. And I feel like there's like magic moments that can happen there. Like we took my son for the first time there, and we were eating, getting into the Christmas spirit there.
Yeah.
And before one of the Christmas parties, and one of the cast members just came by and was like, and brought him an ornament.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
he's just sitting there being so nice, and we thought we'd get this for him. So,
Yeah.
Um,
That's awesome.
so that was a cool, like, cast member,
Yeah.
Christmas moment for us. And what was it? The other non-Christmas related thing I was going to mention that is available. I'll jump back to Hollywood
Yeah.
Studios real quick while I think of
Yeah.
that. But I want to mention Hollywood Studios. There is a holiday meal available at. I'm going to get this wrong. I think it's Hollywood and Dine.
Or Hollywood and Vine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or like
Christmas, like a themed buffet. I don't know if I recommend it because I haven't had it yet. So
yeah, I've heard. We did breakfast at Hollywood and Vine because they have like the Disney Junior characters.
yeah.
But I've heard a lot of not nice things about the dinner buffets at Hollywood and Vine.
Yeah, I would say the same. I like, as I always say on Dads of Adventure, we're all about positive experiences, and I will say that that was not a positive. If I had to warn somebody about something, I would say, like this wasn't like Christmas time food or during that holiday meal that I was talking about, but we went for the breakfast, which was awesome. Breakfast was delicious, and we were there for the changeover when it went to lunch, and I don't know what happened in between those two meals, but like I was excited at first because I was like, oh, we get to try this other stuff too, which is great at like a like I'm blanking on the name of the buffet place at Animal Kingdom.
Tusker House.
Tusker House, yes. So that's awesome when that happens at Tusker House.
The changeover, yeah.
But there it was not so. I don't like. There's just the flavor that's just not there. Like Anyway, I'll stop there. But that's you get the idea. So yes, I don't know if I'd recommend it. So I'll head back to Magic Kingdom, and eventually I'll think of the thing I was going to think of, but I can't think of it at the moment.
From a snack standpoint,
yes,
there is a excellent if you like peppermint. There's this awesome at I think the one in Tomorrowland where they have all like those frosty treats. I can't remember the exact name of it.
Story is it story?
No, it's some like space theme, like cosmic treats or something. I can't remember.
Cosmic rays.
No, it's the one where it's where
anti-gravities.
Yes, that's what. Yeah, anti-gravities.
Where they normally have the ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. And they have this like really good candy cane, like peppermint milkshake there.
Oh, nice.
And it's got this, and I like marshmallow and Peeps, which I know most people don't care for Peeps, but it's got like a big, so it's on another one, which is good. And they have like a big Mickey themed marshmallow on the straw. So
nice.
It's a good one. So, too.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the marshmallow themed drinks. We had a picture of one I can't remember what time of year it was, but it was like orange and
Yeah.
such. So yes, I'm glad to have found somebody that appreciates that, and
Yes.
the to have another one to try. So
Yes.
yeah.
No, it's good. And and there's like especially through the parks, there's just so many cookies, so many brownies, cupcakes throughout the parks that are just Christmas themed, and shortbreads and things like that. So no, there's you don't go hungry at Disney.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I have an example here, and this is something I had forgotten about completely and did not write down. But themed popcorn buckets. So
yes.
Funny story about this one is, and just to let you know, like you're not going to get a lot of popcorn in these.
No.
So it's not like the best deal in terms of your popcorn, but I mean,
How
it's
can you pass that?
A Christmas sweater.
Yes.
And last year they upped the ante from that. Oh, before I say that, so you could get those other places too, but it was funny. They did this with they had like Christmas alien Santas also, which I have somewhere in the house. So I didn't want to look crazy getting too many of my Christmas buckets out, but I'm going to. So they also had they changed Pluto's sweater, and I don't know if they just like spray painted it, the buckets they had left, but his sweater was like red the next year, and I think it was so that you couldn't get like refills on the previous, which we did, but
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, even like the regular refillable buckets I like, but this one was the ultimate one.
And it lights up too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I can't really tell, but it does. It has multiple light modes too. So there's like stars.
Oh, that's awesome. But now, do you have the big ornament red one too as well? Did you get that one?
No, we have a like, and I don't know. I think we got this on a cruise one time. There's like we have like a sipper. It's not a sipper, but it's like it holds your drink.
Oh yeah. Maybe that's what it was.
Like a snowball that has a Mickey hat on it.
Okay. No, there was one. I think it was last year. It might have been a sipper, like a big red Mickey ornament.
Okay.
I'm trying to think in my head.
I missed that.
Yeah. There's so, like I said, there's so many things.
Yes.
They come up with a ton.
Can't get everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although you try sometimes. Yeah.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So kind of after you have that milkshake, because like we were talking about earlier, my family knows me as the snack person. So that's a really good snack. And I was trying to wrap my brain around other places in Magic Kingdom that have Christmas themes, and I couldn't think of anything. Do you have anything off the top of your head around the park?
I think I was trying to think of, what else may be Christmas themed, but I think I'm out too on. I mean, all around the park, there's little things here and there, but I can't think of anything that's like just normal Disney time. I mean, I love to go in this. I'll say on Main Street, the windows, like on the Emporium. I like to hang out and check those out because they do a lot of Christmas displays there. But that'll be the last thing. So
yeah. And if we jump back to Tomorrowland, kind of with like the cast previews, there's one of the guys I follow. He was just like in where like the Tomorrowland terraces, because now they have like where you can take off your mask and a rest break. And just like hearing that Tomorrowland music, that's probably out of all the lands, like that's like my favorite. That whatever that the no words, just that little futuristic beat that goes along. I don't know, it's happiness for me.
Nice.
Cool. So I think if we're done Magic Kingdom, you want to hop over to Disney Springs?
Yeah, we'll cover a few kind of miscellaneous Christmas Disney topics here. But yeah, we'll hop over to Disney Springs, and I'll let you go first because I think you had a few things, and then I'll add add some in between there. So
yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting to see how Disney Springs over the years has changed. Obviously, downtown Disney was kind of like, it was good if you if you went on your trip. If you missed it, it's okay. But now I think the Springs is almost like its own park day, at least half a day, going down there. And kind of one of the things we always do too on our trips is that we always get the photo pass. It's somewhere in like the $150 range. But I tell everyone that goes to get it, just because we always end up with like 500 or 600 pictures, because we pretty much stop at like every person there. And one of the things we did is Santa Claus is down there in Disney Springs as well. He kind of hangs out at the end. I think it's like in the middle of the Christmas tree trail or at the end. Like, I know he's kind of around that general area,
right? Yeah.
On the backside. And when you go, you can actually use your photo pass, so you don't even have to pay for the Christmas pictures with Santa. I know we've done like our local mall here, where it's like you have like, they almost make you like feel bad if you don't buy like the most expensive package with like the most picture type things. So those are like $50-$60 already. So you kind of get to be with Santa. It's a really good looking Santa as far as like the big beard and everything. And it was when our oldest was, I think she was 2 when we went. So she was still in that kind of like, I'm a little afraid of Santa, where the photographers got good pictures, where our youngest was only like 4 months or 5 months old. So he held her. And then our daughter's just kind of like playing in the carpet, like in front of him. And so it was just, it was a really cool shot. And it's something, like I said, that was included, and it was awesome.
Cool. Yeah. And I have an interesting Disney Springs Santa story, I guess I would say. It's not big, but I'm going to jump back to Magic Kingdom real quick.
Okay.
Because
yeah, for sure.
I would mention the Santa Claus does meet there too. I don't know how he gets around. So, it's like the same magic that he uses to get to all the houses. So, but Santa Claus does meet at Magic Kingdom. It's up near like the town hall area.
Yes.
And I just mentioned that from a standpoint of like, not everybody knows it's there. So sometimes you can catch it when the line's not, super long. But that's it. Yeah. But coming back to the Disney Springs Santa, and why you may want to go to Magic Kingdom or one of the other parks to catch him there. And this may be why this happens, is that he's at all the other parks. But when we went, one of the times, they put the wait time up there, and they've got like a system, like I think they text you, or they had like buzzer. They've done different things through the years, so it might be different, next time they do it. But I was laughing because I think it was closer to Christmas when we went, and there was they had to like tape the numbers on there, because I think they ran out of numbers, and it was at 400 minutes. 400 minutes to meet Santa at Disney Springs. So literally we were there like in the afternoon, and you would have had to, you don't think of, like most people know, like 120 minutes is 2 hours, et cetera.
Yeah.
You don't even think about what 400 minutes is, but it was like, we were there like late afternoon. You would have had to come back at 9:00 to meet Santa.
So you guys could have drove back and then to your house, had dinner, and then drove back to the Springs, and still had time to wait.
Yep. So that was pretty hilarious. And I think we should mention like what the Christmas tree trail is too, for people that don't know what that is, because it's there. But how would you describe it?
Yeah. So this would now be the 4th place that I know that it snows on Disney property. So you got Hollywood Studios has that sunset, Magic Kingdom, obviously, and then Disney Springs. And now I'm missing my 4th one.
Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. Is it snow 2 places in Hollywood Studios? Oh, Frozen.
Frozen.
4th one.
After Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, and
there's 5
Sunset Season Screams. I got it right again.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Yeah. So sorry, my brain kind of gets scattered.
That's all right.
Time to time. So the Christmas tree trail, I think there's probably now close to like 30 trees. I think when it started, it was only like 7, and then it's kind of just like gotten bigger and bigger and bigger throughout the years.
Mhm.
So it's really cool where they have all these different themes from anywhere from like Peter Pan to Robin Hood, like individual movies. Some of my favorites are like the Haunted Mansion one is really good.
Mhm.
They even have like a villain's tree. So they have all these specific trees with themes and ornaments and different decorations for that theme. So you kind of like walk your way throughout all the trees. They got the music, the snow. They even got a place where you can buy snacks, which I get excited of course. So
Mhm.
it's really cool. It's I think
Yeah,
there's something
Midway
a little
snack
bit,
stop there. Yeah.
yeah. And I would say it's very important when you go. Um, I've been there during the day when I've been the only one to take all the pictures. Like during the week, during the day, there's no one there.
Mhm.
Um, if you go at night, there's definitely more people. If you go on a weekend night, you're like elbow to elbow with
Yeah.
everyone there. So your experience can vary greatly depending on when you go to see it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure again, how they're going to handle it this year, but one thing to note too is that it closes a little bit before you think it would. It's
Yeah,
like the
because Springs is
spring,
midnight
yes,
usually.
yeah, and it closes about 10, and I think that's regardless of whether Disney Springs is closing around that time or not. So even on the weekend, you got to watch that if that's something you want to
Yeah,
do and you're saving it for last. You may not want to
yeah,
save it for last because it may be too late.
yeah.
If it's not
I
all
would,
inclusive.
yeah, I would say kind of like for all the things that you can do that are free at Disney, that's probably got to rank near the top. You
Hmm.
got like visiting the resorts and then the Christmas tree trail. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely amped up from like when it started. Because I think
Yeah,
when it started, like we went and saw it like as they were closing it, and I think we were like, okay, it's okay that we missed it. But then
yeah,
now it's like you said, a destination event for sure. Um, One of the other things I like in there is the um, well, I'll mention it before I forget it, but like they have like the balloons that they have in Magic Kingdom, Christmas balloons. Always like a good
yeah.
themed balloon, Halloween, Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Um, they're they're more expensive, but they last forever. I don't know what they do. Um, I actually had one that leaked on me, and they have like an outside balloon and an inside balloon. I don't know if it like
yeah,
protects each other in some magical way, but like if you
yeah.
take them home or have the ability to take them home, like they'll last for a month or so. Um,
Yes.
I- and I accidentally had one leak on me, and I tried my best. Like I took it to like a Publix grocery store where they do the balloons over by the florist area, and we
Yeah.
worked on it and like tried to fix it, and they couldn't figure out how to fix it. So bravo to Disney
Yeah.
for keeping them up. But um, anyway, moving on to the thought that I was originally going to say, um,
Yeah.
they have like a PhotoPass studio at Disney Springs,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and
they do.
um, normally they'll have like holiday themed stuff. So there's holiday themed stuff for Christmas there as well, I believe. So um, it would
Yeah. I mean,
recommend
another reason
checking
to
that
get
out.
the photo pass for
Yeah.
sure.
Besides, getting to go in there and seeing all the it's in between some of the shops, so you can see all the Christmas um,
Yeah.
stuff that's going on there. One
And then
thing
they
that
have the
okay,
sorry. I was gonna say
oh,
the one thing that's cool is that Christmas tree shop
mm-hmm,
where they have people that have much better handwriting than I do that'll write out your ornaments and everything like that.
hmm.
Again, kind of probably Disney Springs in general just depends on when you go. You could probably be waiting close to an hour, probably 2 hours to get your ornament, whatever you want it to
Hmm.
say on there. Versus if you go during the week, during the day, you might be one of 10 people in the shop. So
Hmm.
that's always one of our favorite stores to go through.
Nice, yeah, and it's Christmas all year round there, so you can get
Yeah,
your ornaments whenever. Because I think they realize that people want ornaments whatever time of year they're doing
yeah,
it. Extra special at Christmas.
for
Um,
sure.
the thing I was going to mention is I think right behind that shop, on that side, there's like again, never know from year to year if they're going to have it, but there's like um, statues of the Christmas Carol, Mickey's Christmas Carol
Okay.
figures back there. I didn't really know about it until like we were just back there doing the Christmas tree trail one afternoon, and um, but that's really cool to like take pictures with and stuff. If you're a Mickey's Christmas Carol fan like me,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that was really neat to see those characters. I don't know if I've ever seen them like dressed up in the park like that. So that was the closest you
Yeah.
could get to taking pictures with those characters.
Yeah. Kind of like we're saying, it's especially during the holiday season, Disney Springs, I would say, is a must do if you're down there. There's a ton of places to eat, a ton of snacks. They've always got some type of live entertainment down there going on. So yeah, it's and then even I don't think it's necessarily Christmas themed, but the Coca-Cola bear is always there in the
Okay.
store, and you take pictures with him too. So
Somehow I never make it over there to that area. I know it exists, but yeah.
yeah, cool. Yeah, I
The
don't think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't really. I can't really think of anything else in the Springs. I'm sure there's lots of other things.
Yeah, I just had
Besides kind
one
of a couple
more,
things. Okay.
which was which I'm sure we're missing some things, but just in general, the Jack Lindsay's Hangar Bar. It gets all decorated for Christmas, which a
Yeah, I
lot of
didn't see
places
that.
do. But if you go inside, there's um, I think they have like Christmas music and stuff like that. So that's one thing that's big for me is like any place that has specifically themed Christmas music to that location is always like I always love that. That I try to. You might find me recording it so I can listen to it again. I don't know if that's legal
Yeah.
or not. I figure if it's out there and then the public and not like a band or something, then
Yeah.
and for my own personal listening, but there won't be any
So
like Dads of Adventures, records coming out with bootleg copies of the songs. But
yeah. So $1 million question: when do
mhm.
you start listening to Christmas music, or does it stop?
It's so it depends. Like I think um, when there was a lot on Instagram about like the halfway to Christmas
Yeah.
stuff, I started listening to like a um, Christmas like list that I had on Spotify, and so I think any time of year I'm a sucker for like Hallmark
Okay. Yeah.
Christmas movies too, so I'll watch those. I love when they do the Christmas in July. I don't have like cable right now, so
Yeah.
um, I think that some of the other like streaming services are catering to that because they have some of the Christmas movies out.
Yeah.
Like you could watch Pluto's Christmas right now, and like we said, we're watching Olaf's Frozen Adventure, holiday themed stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's a wrong time for Christmas music. It helps me to be calm and stuff like that. So whenever I need it, I guess is when I bring in the Christmas music. Probably more heavily listening to it. I mean, starts like November 1st. And I think you had
Okay.
a question you were going to ask about that that we talked about earlier um, regarding November 1st and when it would be the right time to something that was related to kind of Halloween and Christmas.
Oh yes, yes. So one thing for if you're listening to the podcast, you're missing out because I have a visual. So I have this awesome mug. If you can see, it's a Nightmare Before Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
made by my good friend Alicia for Father's Day. So one of the things about that movie that I wanted to ask you
Mm-hmm.
is, what do you think? Do you think Nightmare Before Christmas, is that a Halloween or is that a Christmas movie?
That is a good question, and I think if you put me in a time machine and took me back to the like when I first got the clamshell, VHS version of that and like watched it all the
Yeah.
time, it would be any time of year would be my answer.
Yeah.
I'm not as like into the movie itself as an adult, for whatever
Yeah.
reason. I still like the character, like Jack Skellington. Yeah, he's often hard to meet at some of these
For sure.
events where he's out. So, but I still would like to meet him. But the but I would say I don't really watch it enough to have an opinion. So it's a trick answer for you.
Yeah.
It's but if I had to pick between whether it was Halloween or Christmas, I would say I'm going to say Christmas, because I think what Jack Skellington realized is that everything that was going on at Halloween, Christmas was even better. So that's my answer. That he realized Christmas was even better, so he wanted to imitate that over Halloween. Sorry for anybody who thinks differently. You can all have your own opinions. I'm fine with that. But that's my off the cuff.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think there's a right answer. Just because, I mean, for me, we watch it both probably all year round. Probably maybe like once every couple of months we'll watch it, and kind of like your not obsession. You're like seeing the characters with either like a scarf or some type of Christmas garment on. Sandy Claus and his Santa Claus outfit for Jack Skellington. That's if I could ever, I can't remember if they do it. I feel like I've seen it at in Disneyland when they do like their Christmas party. He'll be dressed up as like the Sandy Claus and the Santa Claus outfit. So I'm trying to remember if he does that here in World too. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I cannot remember that. Also, I will say that if you're ever trying to get the experience of that, the jumping into Disneyland real quick and then back. The Haunted Mansion holiday. Yeah, I think that's the right terms for it.
Overlay or whatever they call it.
Yeah, the overlay that they do with Nightmare Before Christmas. That is awesome, but quite frightening at the same time. Like, I'm not like scared of a lot of stuff or I guess I would just say it's you're in the movie, and like when you're watching the movie, that's one thing, but being in the movie, that's a little bit different story. And so it's a little frightening, but it's all in good fun too, and a cool like just massive overlay of that ride. So
I heard they have to like take the ride down for like a couple of weeks to even build and put everything up.
Yeah, there's some debate about that. I feel like where folks are like, I came to see Haunted Mansion, and then it has like the holiday overlay, or it's down because it takes so much time to bring it up and down with the overlay. But I think overall, I feel like people appreciate it and like it. So
I think Disney fans, like we kind of talked about before, we don't necessarily like change. So kind of like different groups of like Disney fans, right? You have the people that don't really do much research. They just show up because everyone says go to Disney, it's fun. And I feel like those are the people that show up and said, oh, I want to go on Haunted Mansion. And they're like, what is going on here? Why is this happening? Whereas me, I would love to go to California to see the overlay and be there. So it's kind of like on my bucket list, getting to Disneyland and then getting to see that. So one day we'll get
there. So I won't go into a lot of that. There's a lot there, I'll say, and possibly even harder to do all of that than at Disney World. So I'll just leave it at that.
I've seen online, just because I thought like the Disney World like Christmas party, I feel like sells out faster than like some night. There's more nights I feel that sell out for the Christmas party than the Halloween party, just because it's a shorter season. But I feel like in Disneyland, like they had the tickets on sale for like maybe a week or two. But like every single party sold out at Disneyland. Wow. It's probably just a smaller park, and obviously you can't have as many people or
right.
So,
but I could see that. But yeah, so I could go into a few different things, but I won't because then this will be way long. But maybe we'll do another episode. Once you get there, we'll get back. Maybe we'll
We'll
have
do
an
a Disneyland
opportunity to get back
edition.
to it. Yeah, and
Okay.
go over that. Um, but yeah,
I think we saved the best for last, my friend. I think we did.
well, I had one question. I had a question
Okay.
too before we get to that. So it's a quick question, and you can answer it afterward if you can't think of anything right now,
Okay.
or skip it, whichever. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think I'm asking it too because I want to answer it, the question.
Okay.
But is there one thing that you wish you could do that? See that in another park. We may have already answered this in the last we just said, but that's Christmas related, or something that is gone now that was Christmas related that you wish was still there that you wish you could still do.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like two answers. I don't know if it's just like the easy cop out answer.
Yeah.
So one would be to bring the overlay to Disney World, but I think they like having the different parks in that way, or the different aspects of the different parks. And I think one thing that was really special was obviously the Osborne lights and having those back. I kind of read, I can't remember what book I was reading or listening to a podcast or something about like the history of how like the whole family and how everything happened, and like kind of where it started and how it got there, and then how they sent the lights back. And I don't know, it was something special about being there. It's kind of hard to describe unless you got the chance to see it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like one of those things Walt had always said, like, it's Disney World is not a museum. Disneyland's not a museum. It's kind of always in flux, always in changing. But I think that one hurt. That one hurt a lot.
Yeah. I had only seen it and I was kind of like, well, it's, lights kind of like, you'd see in like, now like people have backyard displays that can go to music and stuff like that. And you don't get the full sense of it unless you're there. And we heard it was going away, so we planned like a special like 2-day trip where we were doing all the Christmas stuff at once in all the parks. And that was definitely something we did. And then we had hoped to get back to it, like we were in Epcot and we hoped to go back and see it again. But they had like turned off the lights, so that was kind of I was glad to see it. Got some great pictures and videos and things like that the time we did get to see it, and we stayed in there a long time. But then I'd been there before when, because we did a lot of like the marathon season, so like from in January it would still be there, the lights would still be on, and occasionally they would be on like at night, but they wouldn't be like dancing or doing the normal thing. So I thought it was cool, but I just had no idea until I saw it. So, I mean, saying that probably doesn't help because people are like, well, now I can't go see it. So I'm sorry, but it was, it was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's, I know a lot of people say that answer. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think the one thing I would, and it'll kind of help transition us to into the next, is I've heard in the past, like you see like the Christmas parties, like kind of like in Halloween parties before they were now, where they're almost like as busy as like the day, if potentially if not busier than the day, where people were talking about you could do a Christmas party where every single ride was like a walk on. It wasn't nearly as hyped up as Disney is now. It's kind of similar like it was back in the day when you had like the 3-hour extra magic hours, where it's like you would have times where it felt like you were the only people in the parks or certain parts of the park. So I understand Disney's a business and things like that, but I wish you could get to a point where even if you had to pay a little bit more money, but it wasn't as crowded at the parties. That's kind of one thing that I think would be cool if they were able to bring something like that back.
I would agree. And we'll talk a little bit more about where you can get those experiences when we get into that. I'll just quickly say mine. it's hard to have one answer here, but
Yeah.
one is just quickly the Jingle Cruise at Disneyland. So from what I heard, that one was like above and beyond even like the Jingle Cruise at Disney World. So I'll leave it at that. But they used to have an overlay for the Country Bear Jamboree that was Christmas themed.
That would be awesome.
And I put up my poster here for this specific podcast. This was like from a calendar set that I had. And this
awesome.
is actually for, I didn't realize it was still even around, but this is for Tokyo Disneyland. So
Okay.
I have a new goal now, is to get to Tokyo Disneyland during Christmas sometime in my life, because before this goes away, because I think it's still there during Christmas, but
let's say
did
Jingle
it at Magic
Bell
Kingdom. Yeah.
Let's say Jingle Bell Jamboree.
Yes.
Okay. That's very cool.
Yeah. So so that would be my my goal to see that. Wish they still did it in Magic Kingdom. Maybe they'll bring it back sometime.
Yeah.
They did like a summer one too, and I like the songs from that. I hear the songs from that, but yeah. So that's
for sure.
But all right. So moving on. So kind of our grand finale here. Let's talk about the Christmas party and all that entails.
Yeah. So for people that might not know, Christmas parties, I think Disney says like select nights, November, probably the first party is probably like, I think there's a little bit of gap because I've always wanted to do like the Halloween party, Christmas party, but I think it's like almost a week gap in between. And then they don't run all the way to the week of Christmas, just with how busy it gets. I think the last one's like the 20th or the 21st. But again, it's one of those things where the park is open. I think it's like 7 to midnight, or the party starts with, isn't it like 7 o'clock and runs through midnight? I think it's 5 hours.
Yeah, if you don't have make it official, if you don't have a theme park admission, like general admission, you can come up to and again, this might be totally different, but before we're talking before is 4 p.m. is when you can start entering the park. So
yeah, I think Magic Kingdom closes at 6, so they kind of give people like the hour to get out.
Start closing it around 6, and 7 is when it officially begins.
Yeah, and for people thinking that, hey, because usually like most days you can just hang out for a couple extra hours. There's photographers that get those like empty park shots. They have like 5 or 6 cast member like walls that kind of just roam throughout the park and say, okay, where's your wristband? And like they like the Disney nice speak, kind of get everyone out towards the hub and
in a jolly happy way. Yeah. You can't say no and be mean to people that are in like Christmas tree evergreen outfits. I mean, they're just they look so nice and jolly.
Yeah. So. Yeah. One because I don't know if we've talked about this. So I did a college program down there at Disney.
Okay.
So I did the fall, 2009, so over 10 years ago now. And so I actually got to work a Christmas party one. I think I worked 1 or 2. So Disney has like a costuming section, basically right off of Magic Kingdom, where you kind of go and have to pick everything up. So I had waited too long to go to get my costume for the Christmas party.
All right.
And so I'm a pretty tall guy, and the pants they gave me were probably for like a person that's like 5'10", and I'm 6'4". So I had on these like red elf, almost felt like spandex type pants to like, and I was just doing something simple. So when you can kind of like pick up shifts, so it was like refilling the apple cider, making sure all the cookies and everything else were out and everything like that. So it was a really fun experience. And I know, kind of jumping ahead through the night, but one of the things I did, but you're definitely not supposed to do, is we were in Magic Kingdom, like obviously Magic Kingdom, but like the Liberty Tree area. And me and one of my other cast members that I was friends with, in Liberty Square, there's actually a back stairwell where you can actually get on the roof of like the Liberty Tree Tavern. And so we got on the roof and we're watching Holiday Wishes from the roof unobstructed, and
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of like one of the best, most scary moments I ever had as a cast member. So it's cool. I don't know, the parties are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously love it because there's snacks everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, you got the eggnog, and there's different stuff everywhere. There's like hot chocolate, eggnog. I think I got like a snow cone, pretzels, tons of cookies everywhere. Yeah, and now I saw this year, I think they started actually bagging the cookies, which is
Yes.
it's good because then you just have a whole backpack full of cookies at the end of the night.
We may or may not, and when I say may, that's probably more the case, have a little container that's sitting on one of our tables that still has some Christmas cookies in it.
Oh, awesome.
And that's one of the benefits of them being sealed.
Yep.
Some keep more than others. I will say that because I have tried some recently to try when I getting
Some homework,
the
right?
cookie spirit, and the peppermint ones seem to keep a little bit better.
Okay.
So that one thing I will mention about that is they have dramatically increased the quality of those cookies, because before it was just kind of like a slight difference. Like it was kind of like you went and got like a Walmart cookies, and then you kind of like added a bit of spice to one, and then got the other, and they still had like hot chocolate, which one thing that people rave about, and it's true, is the hot chocolate is always the right temperature. Like you don't have to wait for it to cool, and it's not too cold either. I don't know how they do it. Maybe you have some insights on that, but
it's so if you don't want to know Disney secrets, probably come back in like the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. So spoiler alert. And it's common knowledge out there. So underneath Magic Kingdom, there's those utilidors, which is how they keep the theming. So the more close you pay attention, people that are in each land have the same costume. And the reason you don't see someone from Adventureland looking in Tomorrowland is because there's the underground utilidors for the cast members to get around. So there's actually only a couple places that actually make the hot chocolate. So like I think Tomorrowland Terrace is like one of the big kitchens for like, and then like the Cosmic Rays has like a big kitchen. So they make a ton of hot chocolate over there. And luckily when you're in your Halloween costume, you can go anywhere because everyone is all dressed up the same on the for the guests on stage. So I remember we were running out of hot chocolate. I was in like Adventureland, and they basically gave like 3 of us like this giant cart and said, "We need hot chocolate now. You have to go all the way across, basically the park underneath in the base or in the utilidor. And if you're not very comfortable with it, it's however many miles there is. It's just you can get lost very easily. So we got all this hot chocolate, and then we're trying to rush back to get back because the last thing you want to do is disappoint guests of not having hot chocolate. So we get to Tomorrowland Terrace, like, what are you doing here? Like, we need 4 things of hot chocolate now. We're running out. So they give it to us, and then we get back, and luckily someone knew the right turns and everything to make. So yes, we got the hot chocolate. The day was saved. And no, it's like I said, it is the perfect temperature. It's not too hot, not too cold. There's nothing like getting that scalding hot chocolate just in case you want to drink it too fast, right?
Right. So yeah, well, I appreciate that, and now I appreciate it even more, and that you shared that story. So bravo to the cast members for making sure the supply stays fresh and current. So
yeah, it's one of those things where there's just, I mean, it seems like a little bit even more than the Halloween party, where the Halloween party you do the trick or treating, but I feel like everywhere you turn at the Christmas party, someone's trying to hand you a cookie or a treat or a drink. It's like no matter where you go, you can find something there.
Yeah, and I think it's a little more casual, like trick or treating. You're definitely like everybody's trying to get that. Eventually, you got enough cookies, and they're, especially when they were not that much different than each other. Now they definitely have like a range of cookies. There's there's the peppermint one. There's the I'm trying to think of my.
There's like a molasses ginger one that's pretty good if you like
Yeah.
that style of cookie.
And
sugar cookie was really good.
Snickerdoodles.
Yeah, Snickerdoodle. Oh, yeah.
I couldn't think of the name. But yeah, so, and like you said, snow cones and whatnot. And there's other, theme things you can buy too throughout. I love just getting the maps.
Yes. Yeah, the maps, the holiday maps.
Yeah, the holiday maps are the best. Like, I would
just
like to look at those, and they're like, I don't know why, but it's just neat.
My wife gave me the look. She's like, "Why do we have 15 guide maps of Magic Kingdom?" I'm like, look at them. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do with it? I'm like, I don't know. They'll probably end up in my basement in a folder somewhere. But how can you say no?
Yeah. Well, when you get back, you have it's like reconnaissance for the next time you go. You have a general idea of where things are going to be after that, because you can't get those maps like just unless like the bloggers the first time they go, and then someone like will post the map and then but like if you're planning a trip and you're trying to figure out what to do, it's like you can't go and just find a map somewhere to make those plans. So you got to kind of go off the ones from the year before.
And even on like on the food topic, there is like the free, I guess, quote unquote free food you get, but then there's like so many themed, like there's probably another 10 or 15 snacks and drinks that are just special to the party too. So it's like I would say kind of like keys for success at the Christmas party. You always have to come into it with like realistic expectations. You kind of have to have like the mindset of like what you want to do. Do you want to go on rides with little to no wait? Do you want to have a couple of characters to meet? Do you want to see the parade, fireworks, and kind of do those things? Because even though it's 5 hours and you can get in beforehand, there's just not enough time to do everything you want to do. So if you have the expectations that you're going to meet Jack and Sally, and then you're going to meet the Seven Dwarfs, and then you're going to go on Mine Train 7 times, and then you're going to get a spot at the parade on Main Street and have like a ton of space to watch the fireworks. It's not necessarily realistic, just because there's just so much to do, so much to see. So kind of one kind of tip that might not be out there is, like we mentioned before, Jack Skellington and Sally, it's possible that they have up to a 3-hour wait during peak times. So one of the things is, like you said, you can get into the park at 4:00, and they actually start seeing people with Jack and Sally at 4:00. So you can get in, get that done, knock that out. And then they also said kind of like towards park closing, you can get in without as long of a wait. So really it's kind of the way my family has done it is, we like the rides. If there's a walk-on, we'll do it. But we're kind of more there to see some like 1 or 2 special characters, do the dance parties while our girls are still young and don't look at us like we're weird for dancing with them and having fun. And then kind of just like experiencing the parade and then everything else. So.
Yeah, I think, it's hard. So I think like definitely you can do the fireworks. You can get a good spot for the fireworks. You can get, you can do the parade. There's a lot of places to see the parade. So it depends on like how specific you want your spot to be. Like we really like to be under the tree. With it coming towards us instead of like
right down Main Street.
But, I mean, you can see it from Frontierland and things like that too. So just depends. Like if you want that spot, like, I mean, especially like if it's the first Christmas parties, like there's bloggers galore that are going to be there, at 4:00 staking out that spot. And even if you're there, you might get crowded out. Like this last time we went to the Christmas party, got to kind of pay attention and like ask the cast members where to be too, because we were there like right dead center, full on parade, but we kind of got edged out a little bit because there was the stanchion poles that they put in right before the parade and the ropes, and the rope kind of cut off a piece of where people could stand. So everybody kind of moved in, and then it wasn't quite as clear of a view after that, because everybody wanted to make sure they got their space there. So yeah, just small things to kind of think about. Even if you get the best spot possible, you may not get the best spot possible, but yeah, I love the parade. I'll jump over to a couple other things first, because I think that's my favorite. But the things that they added to last year's Christmas party, they did some like just very specific Christmas overlay for the rides.
I heard about the
and talking about kind of how you wanted to go back to where ride times weren't as long. I think they did this very strategically, whether they meant to or not, but it definitely helped because they chose rides that aren't necessarily as popular during those times. So like they did like a whole music set to lights type thing on the Tomorrowland Speedway.
I saw that. It looked really cool.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't like Osborne Lights, so I don't want to oversell it there, but but it was really neat. Like, we don't really ride the Tomorrowland Speedway that often, but there was a reason to do it, and that definitely drew some crowds over there to do it. I think they also had the teacups had a special overlay. I think that was it. Besides, the Jingle Cruise, just being there full time, for the whole day. But I hope they plan to do Space. I want to say Space Mountain might have had an overlay.
Yeah, and I think
we didn't get to do that.
Yeah, I think that was the coolest one because they have. I'm a big like Trans-Siberian Orchestra fan, so like that dun 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 dun. They play like I heard they like just blasted that music. I think I can't remember if the whole ride was dark or if they put like Christmas lights throughout. I can't remember, but I just remember they definitely did an overlay with like music, and I remember seeing some videos of in the tunnel like before you get up the hill. Like they did like the reds and the greens and the stuff like that in there too.
Yeah. Oh, and jumping back to another park real quick, they did Christmas theme to Living with the Land.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. So typically it's closed at night, so that was just cool to be there at night. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. But back to the Christmas party. So how do you feel about the stage show? So I think the stage show has been the same for a little while now. So I assume it's probably the same one that you saw that I've seen too.
Yeah. I think the stage show could use a little bit of a refresh. I don't think like the story is necessarily the greatest. I think even from like a memorability standpoint, I'm kind of having a hard time even like remember exactly what it was. Like if you ask me Halloween Party, I know it's the Sanderson sisters, just because I'm a big Hocus Pocus fan. So yeah, I think the stage show out of everything, say like you have like we talked about earlier, the Elsa and Frozen on it, the lighting of the castle and the fireworks and the parade, those are all awesome. Whereas I think the stage show could use a little bit of love, a little bit of Christmas magic to it. Yeah,
it involves a cell phone and some other. I won't give away like the show for people who want to see it. I think it's worth seeing once, and then like it's on a few times. So for me, like my strategy is like wait for the stage show to come up, and that draws a crowd of people, and then I'll go ride the rides or stake out my parade spot at that point, or like try to do all three together. Typically, towards the end of the night, they'll do like a stage show that ends right at the time that the party ends. Same thing for like Halloween Party, and so that stage show maybe we'll stay for, and that way you can extend your night a little bit longer. As well. A lot of people are leaving at that point.
And then kind of like I would say before like this past year, the number one tip was to always see like the second parade So it's kind of like get your fireworks spot, and then you kind of have your second parade. But then I heard this year that Disney was actually texting people on through like the My Disney experiences. You should not go to the first parade. Make sure you go to the second parade because it'll be less crowded. And then it was almost like the second parade became more crowded than the first parade because Disney told everyone.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one tip that I had just on my head is depending on when you go, like if you go in December, Florida does get cold. So when we did the Christmas party, because again, you're there from 7 o'clock to midnight, I was in a like full like jean pants. I had on like double shirt, and I still threw on a sweater. And there was times where I was still cold.
Yeah.
And this was, let's see, it was probably the 5th through the 12th of December. So not even all the way to Christmas, but I don't know, Florida weather in December can be very, very hit or miss and very spotty.
Yeah.
When
it's
you're
very
there.
variable. Like it could be 80 degrees during the day and, and then, head down to like the 40s at night, which I love. I love, because for whatever reason, the stuff that seems to go on sale is like, warmer wear, and I don't get as much chance to wear that. I
Exactly.
appreciate some cool weather to be able to wear those things.
Plus a hot chocolate down Main Street when it's snowing and it's 40 degrees.
There you go.
That's the way it should be, right?
Exactly. And just the I'm trying to think. The parade, I think, is kind of the last part. But one thing I was going to mention is over in Frontierland, there is a great spot where some of the characters will come out, and there's like a band that kind of walks through. I don't know if this was all the time or if they just did it last year, but I hadn't seen it before last year. But they're singing like country Christmas songs and doing like a country hoedown and stuff like that. So
I hope if they don't have a Christmas party, if that's like some type of like the entertainment they're doing with like the new cavalcades, it's kind of like just like the random like people or characters or stuff that's coming through and things like that. Cool. So I know we talked about obviously the hidden secret of the second parade is no longer a real thing. You're kind of, I guess, either way. I think in my opinion, it's my favorite parade out of all the Disney parades. My favorite Disney float is probably the Headless Horseman from the Halloween parade, just as like a single, but that's kind of a quick thing. It's gone in a flash. But again, I think that Disney parade is it's different than the one that you see on like TV. I think people, when they show up to the parks, think they're getting that same exact parade. But I almost think the one that they have at the parks is even better than the one they show you on TV. There's so many iconic floats and different scenes and things like that. So I think not that you have to be right down Main Street. There's other places where you can see it. But I think if it's like your one time and what you really want to see is the parade, then it's definitely worth it to be on Main Street, because again, it's going to be snowing. It's going to, it just makes the ambiance. And then if you're looking kind of like what you said, straight down Main Street where you have all these characters, because there's always like those iconic shots where it's, I think it's one of the first floats where it's like 10 or 15 different Disney characters and they all kind of like get in a line. You got like the snow coming down, you got the castle in the background. And it's like, that's what like postcards were made from, is just that shot. And that's kind of what they show you in the promotional information all the time too. So
that is the shot. And I don't know how they do the lighting, but like every picture that you take of that parade at night, and just a tip for like Christmas in general is that you mentioned that the parade, the parties stop at a certain time. The parades still do go on at like through the week of Christmas, and you can get those as part of your regular, but it's during the day, so it's not quite the same as being there at night for I don't know if they do the fireworks, but the parade, like you said, with the snow coming down and whatever lighting they have on Main Street, like literally like the decision on whether to spend money because it's not super cheap, and
Yeah.
definitely see what it's different prices on different days, so do what works for you.
Yeah.
But the decision to go back to the Christmas party the next year was made by looking at one of the pictures from the previous year of like the snow and everything coming down all at once. So it's pretty special there. I would say for me, the favorite float that's not float, but just part of that parade, would be, and there's tons of awesome, unique things that are going on, but would be the soldiers.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Because they come marching down. There's noise, like there's specific sounds involved with that. Kind of like the what do you call them, the grave diggers, or the for the haunted mansion, where they're scraping shovels on the sidewalks. But
they all march in unison, and I could hear in my head the
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that adds an element to it, and so I'm always waiting for them to come around the bend there. So
I love them. Another one of my favorites would be like the skiers that are on like the rollerblades that are kind of like going through. I always get super nervous for them on like Main Street with all like the train tracks and everything like that. And kind of a couple of years ago, we were big Wreck-It Ralph, and I think the second Wreck-It Ralph had just come out, or we had seen it in that summer. And my daughter was like a huge Vanellope fan, and then where we had like late seats, so we were right by like Sleepy Hollow. So it was great because we got like a turkey leg and we're watching the parade. And then like around the corner comes Vanellope in that little car, just like driving around. Like my daughter just like lost her mind of excitement. It's just like the greatest thing that she had ever seen. So it's cool because you get to see some rare characters that you don't always get to see. And I like I said, I think in my opinion, it's the best parade Disney has.
There are like special character meets during like the party, so I think we mentioned that, but seeing them all at once in the parade is even better. And like the moments where I especially like those reindeer too.
Yes,
they're kind of weird look. They're kind of interesting looking, and
walking on their feet or on their back feet.
And I was recently watching like a video of like an old parade, and they were rather creepy in the older parades. So they're not as the newer ones aren't as weird looking to me anymore. But but I like them. I don't know.
I think if you're gonna do the party, and then this is my opinion, I think the big things is ride wait times are, I guess if they're short, you can always get fast passes, but the parade, the fireworks, getting your photo on Main Street, seeing a couple characters, those are kind of what the things that we love. And it's because you can't do them at the different times. So it's something we just value for sure by going.
If you're gonna do, I mean, there'll still be people in the park, but there will normally be lighter crowds on those days. So because people know, most people know, some people are surprised, but most people know that that's going to be a short day at Magic Kingdom. So sometimes the crowds will be lighter. So you can do the rides like at 4:00 when you come in with that special ticket. So I would totally agree. Like I don't think besides like the special overlay rides, we don't focus on going to ride the rides during the Christmas party. Like we focus on all of the other elements of the Christmas party and doing those things.
We've done it kind of like our strategy would be where we got there at 4. So if there was like some rides or some things we want to do early, that like 4 to 7 window where there's not really too much Christmas party stuff going on, we'll kind of knock those out. That way we're ready to go. One thing I would say is there's from like a sit down. I think maybe Cinderella's Royal Table and Be Our Guest are open. And then I think maybe like Pecos Bill and like Cosmic Rays might be the only like quick service. So there's not as much food available. Kind of another hack that we've done is we'll do like a sit down lunch. So we've done a sit down lunch at Whispering Canyon over at the Wilderness Lodge. So we were full. And then that way we didn't have to kind of sit down because kind of like time is money at the party. So if you've got the 5 hours or the 8, you kind of want to spend it on the things that you can't do other times.
Yeah. And yeah, it's from like a pass holder perspective, it's a little bit different because we don't, we're not there on that one special ticket.
Yeah.
But like one of the things we'll do to get in the mood for the day, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend always for someone who has that ticket, like use that full ticket. If that's your ticket for the day, and get the value out of it. But we go to Liberty Tree Tavern, which I think I mentioned before. And like that's our like set the mood for the party, especially if we go like way before anybody else is interested in Christmas. That's what we can do to set the mood for Christmas and holiday season. So
and we've done on our last September, we've done the reverse hack for the Halloween party. So kind of the thing that when you have to know when you go, say from like August through December, it's hard because Magic Kingdom probably half of the week is only open till 6 o'clock at night. So you have the other nights where they might be opened up till 10. So when you're planning your trips, you have to be really careful, especially if you want to see Happily Ever After. It might only be showing 2 or 3 days a week. And then if there's weather, you can potentially miss your chances. But we've done it where we went on a Friday, because usually the party's on like a Friday, and we went to Magic Kingdom, rope dropped it. I think it had extra magic hours in the morning, where I know it's not Christmas themed, but it's cool where in the fall, if you get there at rope drop at 7 o'clock, it's still dark. So you can actually get Halloween night shots in the morning before the sun comes up. And that day, I mean, I think the mine train had like a 35-minute wait during the day, because most people know, like I said, there's some people that are surprised when the park closes at 6 and they have to leave. But it was very enjoyable for the day. And as long as you know that you're going to get there early, because if you get there around, say, like 9 or like 7, 8 o'clock and you're there till 6, it's Magic Kingdom is still more than a full day. And you're kind of finding your favorite sleep spots throughout your nap time during the mid-afternoon. So
and on that topic of like a way to again sometimes the Christmas party can be a little bit too expensive, especially if you have a bigger family and there's or may work 1 year and then your family grows and then then it doesn't. So one really cool experience we had that, and you can kind of, there's other places where you can do this too, which you can imagine, but we were at Wilderness Lodge, on the water there, and it was a Christmas party night, so we could still see the fireworks from there, and they piped all them. Even during the parties, they will pipe the music into the different locations. So like if you're at Ohana and the restaurant, or Contemporary up at California Grill, you can still get the music and the special fireworks, even if you're not at the party, you're just not right there seeing them. So if you want to experience that and you can't make it like Christmas week of that's another way to experience that. And they just changed like the music, and the music is pretty awesome for those fireworks.
And I think the fireworks are, again, another must see. I think one of the coolest things, kind of compared to like even Happily Ever After, is just like because you have like obviously the castle fireworks, and you have the ones in the background, but then there's even the ones that kind of like almost 360 you
Yeah.
at certain points in the show, and you're just like looking all around, and I'm like a little kid, I'm like, okay, where do I look now? Where do I go? Just because there's fireworks everywhere, and it's it, I love the fireworks show too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we think that's a good place to end
Yeah.
our tour to Christmas in
Yeah, I
July
think
for Disney.
yeah,
I mean, I
we're
think
almost
fireworks is a good way to end that.
yeah, I think we're almost in December now. We
Yep.
you never know. I'm glad we didn't do this on Instagram because you only get an hour, and you
Mhm.
kind of have to motor through everything. So no, I think it's a special time of year to go down to Disney, kind of like just do like a little recap.
Mhm.
Again, if you want to kind of start to see everything, kind of go after Thanksgiving. You don't have to wait till Christmas week to see everything. And kind of like we've seen in the past couple of years, there really is no slow season at Disney
Yeah.
anymore. So be nice, be kind to people, be positive. You're at Disney, something bad goes wrong, it's probably just it means something good's going to happen later. So I think
Yeah.
ultimately there's more than enough things to do on any budget at Disney. So again, we were talking about at the Christmas party, they have that, and then they even have this like special Tony's thing where you can spend another additional ticket to get into like this extra party thing
Yeah.
there versus you could drive up to Disney Springs and do the Christmas tree trail for free.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everything for everyone. Like I said, I can't believe probably going on like 2.5, 3 hours here. So
Yeah.
you probably go another 3 hours with half the stuff that we missed. So I know this is awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. And yeah, I'll just echo that to say that, the Disney Christmas experience is there for everybody, and, they don't have to do this, but they do. I mean,
Yeah.
just, find a way to get to one of the resorts. You can always park. You're always welcome to park at the Ticket and Transportation Center. You do have to have like dining reservations typically to get into a parking lot for a resort. So don't expect that, sometimes they'll be nice and let you in, but otherwise you can take the Ticket and Transportation Center and get bus transportation. Might have to work it around because they aren't going to go straight to the resorts, but find a way to get to the resorts, and you can have a free experience just doing those things, watching the fireworks, hearing those. So if you can't make it to Disney during that time, that's a great way to experience it too. So, but, yeah. Well, and Will, thank you. Yeah, like I said, I was getting excited when you were posting those. And I'm like, we have to talk some Christmas Disney, and in July, we just can't miss that opportunity. So this is exactly what I wanted to do, and I appreciate it. So I'll just wrap things up, from the from our side here. Will, if you want to mention, the places where people can find you first, and I'll wrap up here.
Yeah. So again, as you can tell, I'm into 3-hour podcasts about Disney, pretty much on any topic. So I love talking about Disney. Hopefully one day we'll give you a pass holder, DVC, and all that fun stuff. But if you want to connect them on Instagram at WillTalksDisney, posting there pretty much every day. I'm trying to talk to as many people, just growing my Disney brand and community. So feel free to follow me on there and connect and talk. So yeah, we're pretty much on Instagram, WillTalksDisney.
All right, excellent. And for Dads of Adventure side of things, again, check out dadsofadventure.com, where you can join the newsletter and also sign up for the membership. And membership is where you can sign up to talk to support the cause of helping Dads of Adventure to help other Disney dads to have a more positive life and Disney adventure with their families, and then also we get to talk to other Disney dads and speak the language of Disney, not just around Disney, but going into other life experiences as well. And you can also find us at Dads of Adventure on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And check out again, if you're listening, go to the YouTube and check out the video version of this on the Dreams Magic Adventure YouTube channel. Subscribe there. If you're listening on the podcast side, on your favorite podcast app, please rate and review us, because that helps to get things out a little bit farther. And with that, we'll end up here with the way that we end all of our episodes, and say, go have an adventure with your family.